Tuesday night vibes, the mic's on fire. C3 Panthers Podcast, fueling desire. The professor bringing wisdom, Cody lacks raw wit. The voice and Bat Daddy, yeah, the crew legit. Live at 9, watch the sparks ignite. Carolina pride, teal and black take flight. Talking Bryce Young, got the future in sight. C3 Nation, roll deep through the night. Playbook, crafting that plan. Dan Morgan stacking talent, every move's the man. Panther growl loud, stadium lights gleam. From Charlotte to the globe, we reppin' the dream. Tap in for the breakdowns, the plays in the news. Analyzing every yard, never hitting snooze. QB1 Bryce, turn the doubters confused. C3 Panthers Podcast, always in the groove. The professor dropping facts, Cody's passion's alive. But Daddy wild takes, keep the theories revived. The voice with the insight, smooth as silk. Cod calf, sharp enough to cut, no barley or milk. Live at 9, watch the sparks ignite. Carolina pride, teal and black take flight. Talking Bryce Young, got the future in sight. C3 Nation, roll deep through the night.
Maybe we're just saying we're going to take a drink of this Kool-Aid, and then we say, that tastes a little funny. What's up, Panther fans? It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. The Carolina Panthers have fallen to 0-2 to start the season, and it's not been great so far, but a thriller of a game at the end of last week maybe gives us a little hope to watch another week. XL is on the path to being the next Jonathan Mingo, and the Falcons are running all over teams, while the Bucs are making last-moment comebacks. Are the Carolina Panthers the worst in the NFC South currently? Yeah. They are, until proven otherwise. But all hope is not lost because we're here for you guys, and you guys are here for us. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast, and each and every Tuesday night I chop it up with my homeboys, especially my wheelman, Cody Lack. What's good, my friend?
Tony Dunn, what's up, brother? You already know there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than sitting here with my boys talking Panther football. The home opener is upon us. The division rival Atlanta Falcons are coming to the bank. Their defense looks vicious. But, man, what's even more vicious is the terrible news that we've been given about Robert Hunt and Austin Corbett. Depends on how you feel about the center position. We're going to talk about maybe we're sleeping on our defense a little more than they deserve, and the potential of a burgeoning superstar in the form of T-Mac. Tetairoa McMillan. But Tony, we would never do this show without the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You know them and love them. It's Joey the Blind Panther, brother Michael, Bryce Young, Glazer in the building, Damian Tucker, my man Drew with the flu. What's up, bro? Harvey London, Pandas in the building, Stonewall, Panther Gal 73, and Tim Stellings. Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. It's another C3 Panthers podcast. Let's roll.
The number is 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. I'll be taking your calls. Chopping up this latest news. Guys, don't forget, we've got the September giveaway going down next Tuesday night on the show. You saw the link is in the chat right now. Go to gleam.io and do all the fancy things through that, and you'll get the most entries. What you need to do is follow the podcast on YouTube and Twitter and retweet and do all those things. The more you do, the more entries you get. What you get, and we're giving away right here. Let's see. I'll put myself full screen here. You can see it a little over here. Right here. Let me hold it up. You get a piece of historic Panthers memorabilia, or you have an opportunity to win this metal logo sign that was salvaged from Bank of America Stadium, this Panthers fan cave sign, as well as a C3 Panthers podcast t-shirt. So you guys go ahead, help continue to grow the podcast alongside of us. You guys have been doing fantastic. Cody, I want to mention this is, hold on, if I can't get, where's the layout? Why are the layouts all funky? There we go. We got 50 subscribers on YouTube in the last 28 days. A vast coming in the last week or two, guys.
Let's go.
We're locking arms. Sometimes it's therapeutic. Other times we're just partying, having a good time, and it's always good to hang out with my buddy CK.
Man, just happy to be here. It's been a roller coaster. I think Cody hit a couple of those nails on the head, talking about, and again, giving the defense some credit. They have improved from week 1 to week 2, and I think there's a lot of promise on the on this young roster that we have on defense. So we'll see if Evero can capitalize on it. I'm still not convinced he's the guy at the helm that should be leading this defense, but man, I don't think week 1 and week 2 should have the sky falling as much as it feels like Panthers fans have them falling. So I've taken a lot of optimism from what we've seen these first 2 weeks, and happy to talk about it tonight with you fellas.
Yeah, 0-2 makes it sound worse than it probably was towards the end of that game. But I tell you, as if you survey Panther fans at halftime of game 2, it was pretty terrible. The ability to come back and be in it at the last moment, capitalize on some mistakes, have a little resiliency and fight. Greg, we all started last week. You're 0-2 in the picks. CK is 0-2 in the picks.
No,
Cody,
no. Everybody's 1-1 except for me. Yeah, everybody's 1-1 except for me.
No, CK had them for a win last week.
No, he certainly.
Well, last week I chose, but from the beginning of the season, I had them losing that game.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we chose weekly. We chose on the weekly picks.
Okay, so weekly maybe, but I'm going by the season stats that I wrote down. So, yeah.
Weekly picks right here. Now for weekly, because we're changing sentiment as we go. 0-2 for Greg, 0-2 for CK, 1-1 for Tony, and 1-1 for Cody. But we were talking right before we went on the show. You're one drive, one score away from everybody being 1-1 or me being 0-2.
I'm telling you, right now the Panthers are something like a Rorschach test.
Yeah.
You sort of see whatever you want depending on who you are looking at this football team. Some people are super optimistic. Some people are already ready to burn everything to the ground. There's a lot to dissect. I think that this is a much needed show that we're doing here tonight before we go into our home opener.
Let me get Greg
division game.
Yeah, so Greg, the Bat Daddy Stat Daddy, is like, this shows you just how close you are from being optimistic to the sky is falling. And right now, I think that was just enough to keep us from turning the channel off. Greg, the Bat Daddy Stat Daddy, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, and here's my thing is like, I'm trying to be optimistic about Bryce this year. For the last couple of years, everybody's telling me I'm a hater. And, I don't believe, and I still, I'm going with my instincts, and a lot of beliefs I have, but I think Bryce can do what he does, or can do enough to make us be a winning team based on what we build around him. Here's the thing. It's like I was telling you before the show started. If Bryce Young scores a touchdown on that last drive, we're having a totally different conversation. And not only to Bryce Young being a guy who can do it, but holy shit, he came back from 27-3 down and won the game. Like, it's a totally different conversation. It just shows you how one drive can change everything. Now, that is the reason why I don't blame Bryce for everything last week, because he was one drive away from being the savior, or looking like the savior for this team. Because he didn't do that, we tend to look a little differently on it, and we're still 0-2 now. But I don't believe that everything that happened last week that we lost, the reasons we lost, was because of Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He was a big part of it. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna take away from that.
You can't remove the turnovers.
Exactly, but he was not the reason we lost. I don't think we have a lot bigger problems than just Bryce Young. But I can't hate on him for last week not winning that game. I mean, you're put in a terrible position, dude. You were down 17-18 going into the fourth quarter. I mean, and he made it a game. Like, we had a chance at the end. I can't get mad at him for that. So.
Well, a good buddy of mine says if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. And the Panthers did not win.
Who said that?
I don't know. Is my wheel man right there is
sounds like a pretty smart dude.
The Panthers didn't pull it off. And so we're going to chop up all that, guys. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the show. We're about everywhere you could be. Continue to support the content in any way you can, which is by hanging out in the chat, calling the show, sharing the show with a friend. Cody Lack, let's get into tonight's show. The title of tonight's show, Division Battle in Home Opener Offers Opportunity for Panthers Resurgence, right? Is the Panthers, while they're 0-2, an opportunity to make a little headwind, or gain some ground in the division as they welcome the Atlanta Falcons. The question is, are the Panthers able to get something going. While it seems like at times it's a little too late. And then you add to the news, really a devastating injury to the Carolina Panthers offense, one that has struggled. Robert Hunt, torn biceps, undergoing surgery. Go ahead and expect him out for the season. While they have not, I think, officially said that that's going to be the case. I mean, that is what will be the case. Robert Hunt likely to miss the entire season because of a torn bicep. And the Panthers offensive line has not been fantastic through 2 weeks, not been awful entirely. But you then add to that the subtraction of Austin Corbett also going to IR because of a MCL injury. So you could go ahead and get Cade Mays starting. The Carolina Panthers will be trotting out there. Chandler Zavala, the curious case of Brady Christensen, still befuddles all of us, including the Panthers coaching staff, but not going to be easy as they take on the Atlanta Falcons. And Bijan Robinson with one of those great games. Somebody said I saw on Twitter, Cody, that Robert Hunt's the most important person on this offense. Now, I don't know. I think you could argue that, like, outside the quarterback, I mean, Robert Hunt is to the offense that Derek Brown is to the defense.
Absolutely. He's really the heart and soul of the offensive line. And, dude, for him to not tear one bicep, but both of them, like, bro,
it was both of them?
It says biceps. Everything I've read says
maybe you have multiple muscles
on his left bicep.
There's no way he walked out of there was like, I
There's
can't.
two muscles in the bicep. Yeah.
Okay.
So his left bicep. My thing is this, man. One, we are undeniably worse off for not having Robert Hunt in this offense. Like, he is the heart and soul of the offensive line. I think we would all agree he is far and away the best offensive lineman that we have on the whole team. And part of the reason why we were so excited about what our offensive line could do coming into this year was partly because of Robert Hunt. But it seems like whenever we get our hopes up about an offensive line going into a season, injuries come right at the start of the season and just shatter us right away. However, one that we do need to discuss a little bit more is the addition of Cade Mays, who is going to be the new center for the Carolina Panthers. This is from Panthers.com. With a couple of significant injuries in Sunday's loss to the Cardinals, the Panthers have a couple of significant adjustments to the depth chart heading into this week's home opener against the Falcons. The Panthers have placed starting right guard Robert Hunt and center Austin Corbett on injured reserve on Tuesday, so they had to be replaced. As Panthers head coach Dave Canales said on Monday, Chandler Zavala will replace Hunt, and Cade Mays will return to the middle as he did last year when Corbett went to IR. Of course, it's hard to replace the play and leadership that those veterans provide. He said, I think about Cade and the opportunity for Chandler coming in there, but between Austin and between Rob, these are two guys that I lean on, also just for messaging and for the toughness and for the fight and the discipline to just continue to go back to work. So we'll certainly miss those guys that way. So, but we can also say, and you and I sort of mentioned it on the postgame show, Tony, it's like you never wish for any injury to a player, but a lot of us had been wanting to see Cade Mays at center due to the amount of times that Austin Corbett would just sail the ball right over the head of Bryce Young. So many high snaps, not snapping the ball in time. It was a real issue. You can also look back to down the stretch last year. It's undeniable that Bryce Young, as a quarterback, had his best performances of his career with Cade Mays at being the center of the Panthers' offensive line. So maybe this is somewhat of a blessing in disguise. However, I think we can all universally agree that losing Robert Hunt to this team or for this team so early in the season, that's an incredibly hard pill to swallow.
CK, Cade Mays, a lot of people wanted him to start over Austin Corbett going into the first game.
Yeah.
And you know, I certainly do not wish injury on any player or any person or hardship.
Sure.
So our hearts go out to Austin Corbett and the difficulties and the injuries he's faced over the last 4 years, it seems. But I hope it wasn't. I guess there's no forecasting here. I mean, this podcast doesn't have that ability to mess with the universe in this level. But it was, hey guys, I know that you want to see Cade Mays. They're probably going to start out with Austin Corbett for the first few weeks to get that kind of veteran presence. And there was the risk of Austin Corbett succumbing to injury like he has for the last 3 seasons in the beginning, and it has happened. It does weaken the offensive line because we don't have as much depth, right? As you're just down a body at this point, and they're adding players from other teams. Robert Hunt, certainly a big blow. Can the Carolina Panthers, can this offensive line, how concerned are you about the loss of Robert Hunt and just the overall? Because this Panthers offensive line hasn't played as well as last year, but we also know that Icky was just coming back in week 2. I mean, he got smoked, I think, in one play at the beginning that led to the Bryce fumble. And I mean, look, he's coming off an appendectomy. The Panthers offensive line needs to protect Bryce. He does it. He's struggled to picking up blitzes. How concerned are you about the health of the offensive line? What was a strength already taking some getting weakened?
So I'm concerned because it's week 2, right? Yeah. Like, and that's the reason I'm concerned is like, you can pretty much, I don't want to say guarantee because you don't want to wish it. There's going to be others, right?
Yeah.
That happened because we're so early in the year. And it sucks that this isn't like a, an IR situation where he's coming back in 4 weeks potentially or something. Like it sounds like this is done, right? And because of that, that's concerning. I'm not so worried on a couple of factors, at least on the short term. And this is why you re-signed Brady Christensen, right? Is moments like this dude is the epitome of depth. Now, what I don't like is the fact that we're still putting Zavala in there over top of Christensen.
With no,
can I ask why?
No, as Joe. Well, you can ask why. And Joe Person.
Why are we not giving Brady Christensen an opportunity at all? Like, we literally bought this guy in because of what he's been able to do, being a Swiss Army knife. They don't put him in at left tackle when Kim Aquanu was there. They're not putting him in at center. They're not putting him in at guard. Bro, trade Brady Christensen to a team that will use him and at least get something for him if you have no intention of putting him anywhere on this offensive line. Why did you bring him back?
They're not impressed with him as a player, Cody. And while I know that we have latched on to it as a player that has performed every time his number's been called or in the face of like really difficult circumstances, playing a different position every single time, coming off a short notice. If you go back to the free agency additions, is that they made a priority to have Zavala. It was Zavala that they brought back.
Yeah. No, Zavala.
Because Zavala's not under his rookie contract still.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Who was? There was an offensive lineman. Oh, it was Cade Mays that they targeted first, that they that they strategically brought back.
Yeah.
Joe Person asked Dave Canales just what you said. And it just basically, he said, look, we like Brady Christensen's versatility, but Zavala is coming into being a good ball player and they believe in the guy. So right now, the answer to your question is they just like Zavala more than Brady Christensen. And while that stinks and like why we don't, why they're not doing certain things, that is the direction they're taking. I saw some cool comments, guys. You guys want to, if you want to divert or should we keep straight on target, just talk briefly about the game itself real quick and wrap that up. I saw some cool comments in the chat. I liked Panther Pickle saying, look, the difference between last year and this year is this team loses by 5 scores in that game and isn't able to fight back and
Agreed.
Stay in it after that start. When we look to also somebody saying bench Bryce Young. Now Bryce Young is tough start to the game, CK. But if anything, the strength of this kid so far has been resiliency, right?
Yeah.
A resiliency in the face of adversity last year and able to finish it out. And instead of melting down last week, he toughed it out. And then also the kid is tough.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just getting up after getting smoked all the time. I don't want to free him from blame. I know that people say, look, he threw all these yards people let him down. Look, there were people that were let him down. I felt there were moments that Bryce Young could have played a little bit better at the end of the stretch. Whether it's and I don't know is like, I mean, again, we'd have to really zero in on what happened on some of these breakdowns, but it does stink to see him running backwards, trying to
make something happen.
Yeah, and then it's like, man, it's not going to happen. It really is. We were given an opportunity, and despite all of those things of being able to chip away and come back, you were given an opportunity, and the team could not capitalize. I thought Bryce Young's play was pretty good. I don't think he had a great game. I don't think he had a bad game. I thought it was a pretty good game. You know, there were moments.
What's that saying? It's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Well, Bryce Young finished that game really strong. I like some of the things that he did. He made some good throws. I did have some clips that I wanted to play.
Can we play? Can we play the clip? And since we're on this, I sent you guys one in the Four Horsemen about Bryce Young and going downfield. Really, right now is Bryce Young. What the clip that I found is struggling against zone coverage, and that teams are saying just keep everything underneath and dink and dunk and like they're not really scared of the Carolina Panthers. And to be honest, is like some people were saying this is that and you were in the post game show, Cody, saying like fine, take what they give you. The real difficulty I have with that answer is like, man, we were down like 4 scores and you got to get the thing rolling, man. I was like, it doesn't matter if we start to play well. There's not enough time on the clock to come back. And it was a miracle that we were able to come back in this one. You get 2 opportunities that you get a kind of a fluke interception, but you get it right and you make something happen. And then you get the onside kick. But
we don't talk about that enough too. We recovered an onside kick.
The first
That's
one,
wild.
89 attempts or something, and the first one in like 4 years or something for the NFL. Or it's been a while. Let's go ahead and roll this clip and talk about, and let's hear what they're saying. This is, I don't even know who this guy is right now. I'll find it in a second.
This is PFF.
Okay.
The big thing to me, what did we see the improvement with Bryce Young with at the end of last year? Throwing the ball downfield vertically, all the big time throws, right? The throws into tight windows, 10+ yard throws, right? This year, what you're seeing, and yes, because they've been behind early in both of their games, he has the most dropbacks, but he also has the most dropbacks against zone coverage. And what teams are realizing now, maybe we're the ones who said it too often in the last 6 months, is like just like I just said with Bo Nix, put the cap on it, make him beat you underneath over and over. See what he does. Right now, the Panthers on 10+ yard throws through 2 weeks are 27th in passing grade and 29th in receiving grade. And to your point about Xavier Legette, he was supposed to be, as the first-round pick last year, that guy that opened things up. Tetairoa McMillan has shown us good things through 2 weeks. He can open things up.
Right.
But you got teams, especially a team like the Cardinals that plays so much zone coverage. You've got a team right now in the Panthers that's struggling to make big plays because that's what made him better the second half of last year. Bryce Young has the second most attempts of 10+ yards so far, 30 of them so far in 2 weeks. 33% completion, second worst in the league. 6.8 yards per attempt, second worst in the league. Right now, if you're playing the Panthers, you want to go ahead and run the ball? Go ahead and run the ball. They only ran for 2.5 yards a carry in this game.
Yeah, that's also been a major issue.
You want to dink and dunk when you don't really have any after the catch threat? Go ahead. If I'm an opponent against the Panthers right now, and again the Cardinals play a lot of zone coverage anyway, I'm sitting back. I just go, you know what? Go ahead and beat us 4 or 5 yards at a time because you compromised up front and you don't have a ton of downfield. You don't have a ton of speed at running back or really anywhere after the catch. And this is not about even Tetairoa McMillan. He's been their best offensive player, I think, through 2 weeks.
Right.
They don't have enough. They don't have people that threaten you within the box and after the catch and with speed underneath. Because right now, last year, the best part of their offense, the second half of the year, was Bryce Young's arm. Teams are not going to let him beat them the same way they did those last 8-9 games of last year. The Cardinals, especially, as they're so good at preventing explosive plays, this is going to be a problem for Carolina. They have to start manufacturing offense before they can get back to that.
But you see, to me, Tony, this is why it upsets me so much that they decided to do these big time shots over the top. Like, because of what he just said, they are not successful doing that. He read the numbers to you. They're like 33% on big plays, which is absolutely abysmal. Like, the final score was 22-27. They were beating the zone coverage with the underneath stuff. Why not get closer and closer to the goal line, doing what you had been successful doing up until that point? It also annoys me so much that we're not giving Jimmy Horn Jr. any play. One of the things that he just mentioned right there is that we don't have a lot of speed on this team right now. So why would you, especially if you do want to take shots downfield, why would you not put the speedster that you drafted, that you did not cut when it came to roster cuts? Why would you not have him on the field right now to attempt to give you something over the top to at least maybe open things up on the underneath? It makes no sense to me.
I'll go back to what Greg said at the beginning of the show, is that this wasn't that Bryce Young lost this game, right? And CK echoed this collective, we've kind of bemoaned this for the last couple of weeks, is that it's not just a one thing, it's not just the drops, it's not just the turnovers, it's not just the blitz pickups, it's not just the being able to stop the run. We're not being able to stop the run. The problem here, though, is that the Panthers, given this scenario of this case, I don't really believe, I just don't agree with you, Cody, is that I think you have to keep pushing the ball downfield because of the clock. A lot of them were close. You know what I'm saying? You get one of those plays and you start catching some momentum. But what is clear is that the Panthers are just not talented enough, good enough on either side of the ball to spot you 10, 14 points at the beginning of the game. We're not good enough to make mistakes and come back. This offense can't be playing from behind. And you want to know why the running game is going 2.1 yards a carry. It's because you're playing from a position where you telegraph everything and you can't. It's like this team is built right now to play close games, to be in games, and hopefully be ahead by 3 points, to be the ones grinding the clock down, not the ones fighting the clock to score points in the fourth quarter. If you look at those, and this is a story that goes back for several years with Carolina. Even Bryce's first game-winning drive against Atlanta that ended in a field goal kick, was that year one? Do you guys remember that? Started on the 5, and it took 6 minutes to go 60 yards. Right. So the Panthers, they're not built to be playing from behind, and the Panthers have been playing from behind in all of these games. And right now they're just not good enough to do that.
Yeah.
I'll play some clips while we continue to discuss this. You tell me what you notice about these plays. You have a couple of drops, but most of the stuff that we did well was right there across the middle of the field. T-Mac is able to use
early in the game. That
use his striding ability to get some yards after catch. The middle of the field was working for us all game. You're trying to get as close to the end zone as possible, so that way you're not having to push the ball so incredibly far downfield. You know that Bryce doesn't have a bazooka of an arm. Why not put yourself in better positions and scenarios like what he just did with Hunter Renfrow right there, to be closer to the end zone and have Bryce play point guard? The fact that they didn't do that, to me, it took away from what was overall, as Greg kind of alluded to, a fairly decent performance by Bryce Young. He had the most passing yards of his career at, I believe, 320 something, I believe. He did okay. To me, I feel like at the end, especially, the coaches just drove a stake in our heart.
I think the clock, though, I think we have to go back and look at some of the clock, and you're working the boundaries in hopes that you're going to get some yards and be able to step out of bounds. I think that it's not the luxury. You don't just have the luxury of having all the time in the world. The Panthers, though, they had an opportunity and they had enough time, but they could not convert in those final stages. You go from drops to miscued, misthrown to sack, to penalties. And it was not like the Panthers just beat the Cardinals back into this game. The Cardinals made some real mistakes and beat themselves, particularly some big penalties that hurt them. Let's continue through with the news what I think we all agree on, or I hope we all agree on. I know I'm very confident in this, is the Panthers don't have room for error, right? It's like Bryce Young, if you saw those games that he played well in, he didn't throw any picks last year, right? Is like what we need is momentum to start nicking away and playing well, we can't beat other teams are going to beat us by nature. The Panthers can't help them by beating themselves. As these injuries look, as they got some problems, guys, if you want to look at that defense, really problematic at that linebacker room is a mess, right? Is not only were we concerned about it going into the season, it just hasn't been good. Carolina Panthers made 2 additions, one on offense, one on defense. Cody, tell me who we got.
Yeah, so these are coming from the AFC North. We picked up Nick Samac off of the Ravens practice squad. 2 years of experience, 6'4", 314 pounds. You know, a lot of people said, well, if he's good enough to be on the Ravens practice squad, then he should be good enough for us. We also got Mema Njongmeda, linebacker, 6 foot, 230 pounds, 24, from Wisconsin. Again, we don't really know a whole lot about these guys, but, you know, these are depth signings, and it also sort of lets you know where they're worried about their depth on this team right now, offensive line and linebacker. Before we moved away from offensive line completely, I wanted to go back to Cade Mays and ask, what is your guys' confidence level going forward in this offensive line? Chandler, Zavala as well. Like, we lost 2 starters on the offensive line. Normally, that's a death knell for any team. How are we feeling about Cade Mays and Chandler Zavala? I think Cade Mays has an opportunity to really, truly cement himself as the full-time center for the Carolina Panthers. And Chandler Zavala was drafted with a lot of hype, being someone who played at NC State right next to Ikem Ekwonu. He's a really strong young man. He got injured earlier in the season too. What are the expectations for this offensive line now that you have Cade Mays at center and Chandler Zavala playing right guard?
CK had Austin Corbett not been playing, if he had been playing well, and we were excited about him as a player when he was healthy, and there hadn't been noise of Cade Mays. We're kind of chomping at in his shadow, nipping at his heels.
Right.
Losing 2 starters would be devastating. I think that we're hopeful that Cade Mays can not only play as well as Corbett, but many people's eyes play potentially better, but the Robert Hunt, devastating.
It's that one's again, I feel slightly better about it just because of having Christensen, as long as they're willing to play him. That's my biggest caveat. Like, I think that we've seen enough of Zavala. When he came in there, it was a noticeably, every time that he's been in the league, in the game, it is noticeably worse on the field, the product that we're seeing from this offensive production. And it's a concern. Now, is that all on him? I think if you go back and look at the film, I think that there's going to be a multitude of things that kind of contribute to that. But for the most part, like, there's a common denominator here, and I don't think it's hyperbole to say that Zavala, in essence, could be the difference between us making a touchdown or not making a touchdown because of some of the play. I mean, it's just, again, I know the offensive line wasn't great, but he is a noticeable downgrade at left guard or right guard, and I just think you've got to put Christensen in there. I don't know what it is that's keeping him. Like, he's not even the backup right guard. He's not the backup center. Like, he's none of those. So what is he there for if not to be the Swiss Army knife? Why did we pay him in the offseason? I know it wasn't like a king's ransom, but he did get paid. And I think that that's worthy of investigating a little further about what we decided to bring him back for.
He's the backup gadget player.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be, you said inevitably that you can expect more injuries to come throughout an entire season. So he'll get his number called at some point. Oh, Oh, I want to
Hey,
marry
man,
you.
I want to go on a date first. Come
I
on,
want to
man.
eat you, I think it said. Holy moly. This show just took an exciting turn. Cool things off here.
So,
Cody, let's rock into some calls real quick. How about we just pop in and take a few calls before we continue to move with the show? The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Lots of Panther fans want to have a lot to say in tonight's show, so let's work through some of these.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his notebook? Who's that kid that can use one?
Come on, play. Get out of my way. Fat fingers. It's deathly quiet. Come on. Where are you at?
Tanner up in Elkin. I just got to say, just let Legette wear the Sir Purr outfit now.
And turn it a little bit lower.
Hat,
Turn it down.
ride the horse around the field. Just let him be Sir Purr. He is our mascot. We love him. He's cool. He's funny. But, yeah, he doesn't need to be shooting up with the football anytime soon. That's it.
Let me see if I can go back to this original call. This is twice in a row. The first call hasn't come through.
Yo.
There we go.
Showtime.
Can you hear it all right? Too loud,
Yep.
too soft?
Fort Myers, bro. And I just
a little bit louder.
today. But I'm going to just say,
Yeah.
let me first get this off. Thank every single one of y'all for doing this podcast, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
I love that y'all do it. And it makes me deeply invested into my favorite team. But what I do want to get off, how do you evaluate a player when their stats and their performance depends on somebody who's complete dog shit? Mr. Bryce Christopher Young. I couldn't imagine what Tet would do with an Andy Dalton back there. He would drop like 300 yards. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Because Andy Dalton's, one, not afraid to drive that ball. Two, Andy Dalton's vet. He's got experience. If he throws a turnover, that's fine because I know he's going to throw like 3 more touchdowns or 2 tutties. My point is, if we have to bench Bryce for Bryce to get a call from Rod Wave and be like, yo, I need to lock in because my job's already on the line, then fucking do it. Because I feel like it's not fair. And I know I got on Legette, but I feel like it's not fair for Legette. It's not fair for Hunter Renfro. It's not fair for Ted. For sake, bro, I feel like we don't even throw Jimmy Horn out there because Bryce doesn't have the arm to get it to him, bro. And that's pissing me off. Why get us hyped about Jimmy Horn if we ain't gonna use him? He's not even on special teams.
This I agree with.
Is he hurt?
Wholeheartedly.
Bro.
Not the Bryce part necessarily,
I don't know
but
about this team no more, dog. I say the OC got to go. Keep Dave. I say Avero got to go. Because, like I said, bro, I've seen coaches with less do more. Dave brought all his buddies and then kept Avero. Or get rid of Dave and hire Avero as head coach. I feel like Avero would be a better head coach than he would be defensive coordinator. Or he's just at this point purposely selling so he can leave the team. Like, he's just here to get paid. And that's how I feel about a lot of these players. They're literally just here to be paid. Like, Pat Jones had a great game. But, like, Roseman or whatever, he's genuinely trying, but he's just genuinely ass. Like, I see the effort, but you're just genuinely ass. Like, Roseman on any other team, third string. But he's a starter for us because we don't have depth.
Josie Jewell was a big loss to this team. I think they needed him to play a role, and that unexpected. I don't know how prepared they were, how in the know they were about his health. They bet a lot on Trevin Wallace. and it's just not panning out. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Well, hold on, wait. I want to respond to that real quick, though. Like, I don't think that anyone really thinks. I mean, hey, maybe he does if you do, fine. But, like, if we're talking about Andy Dalton coming in to save the team, right?
Whoa. Real quick.
But I mean, I'm saying, why would we go to Andy Dalton right now when we have done and given so much for Bryce Young? It's like I would rather just be absolute dog shit.
Did y'all not see Andy Dalton
Bryce.
in the preseason?
That's what I'm saying. Like Andy Dalton inspires faith in absolutely no one. And I do think that Jimmy Horn Jr. needs to be a greater part of this offense. I think that somebody like that could help Bryce Young's game. Why he isn't on this field is as good a guess for you as it is for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Look. I will say I agree with you. I don't think this should go to Andy Dalton right now. But let's not trash this man. Hold on. Every single year of Andy Dalton's career has been better than Bryce Young's best year. Every single year of his career. Okay. Last year
he looked like ass in those last couple of games last year.
In the preseason game. Okay. Last year when we brought him in, when Bryce Young couldn't pass for
2 good
55 yards in a game, Andy Dalton came in and threw for 300 yards. Okay. Let's stop. Let's put some respect in this man's name. Okay.
But do you think that we need to move? But that's what I'm saying.
I don't.
Like, what are we even talking about?
But he's not garbage.
Bring Joe Namath
garbage.
But nobody's saying he's garbage. We're saying who gives us the best chance to win football games right now. Because
Andy
if
Dalton's
he's
had a better game every year, Bryce Young's had
any
year of Andy Dalton's career has been better than Bryce Young.
So then why don't you think that we should be going to Andy Dalton right now? Then you just said
because we invested so much in Bryce Young. We invested so much in Bryce Young.
I'm not even going to spend my time talking about Andy Dalton.
Every year he's played is better than Bryce Young's best year. Just saying.
Andy is washed. Number one,
maybe
he is. And look, he played 1 or 2 good games with the Panthers last year, and then it just started automatically looking like ass.
Well, he only played 3
throw
games
the ball,
and
but
got
8
injured,
yards
right?
in the preseason. It looked like his arm was straight cooked. And right now is that if winning one more game with any quarterback if that's all it does in the trajectory of the season, then that's not helpful for the Carolina Panthers at all.
Yeah.
And next is that Bryce has been Bryce just has to come out. He has not shown as I think CK said this in the post game, is that this is different than the 0-2 start of last year. Yeah. Is that he had game 1, I think, was starting to make us worry. And and the first 2 drives, you're starting to worry. But look, there are again, excuses. We don't need to make those. But so much is that he's getting sacked and fumbling the ball because people are failing on their job. Right? It's not like he was had a great line protection in that moment and just threw a pick out of nowhere. Right? And I think Bryce made enough good plays throughout weeks 1 and 2, particularly in week 2, and showed enough resiliency to where we don't think he is a detriment to the team. In fact, he is the best quarterback option for the Carolina Panthers, hands down. And right now, we need him to play each and every week to make sure or to see if he is the option for the Panthers beyond this year.
And instead of it being at the end of the year like last year, at the end of that game in week 2, Bryce Young is starting to look more like the quarterback that you want to see. He did have some throws that were dropped. He also had some terrible throws that he dirted.
Right.
Do
you agree with Broadway Joe here? All Bryce, no O-line fault? Y'all ridiculous? Didn't Aquino get beat on that fumble play?
Yeah, and there's also 4 people
Rico
here.
Dowdle completely miss his blitz pickup?
Yeah, it's not all Bryce Young for sure.
It's not all Bryce, and also there's also 4 people on the pod, so it's not like I don't know if you're maybe talking to people in the chat or if you're talking to each and every one of us. I'm literally sitting here saying that you have to continue with Bryce so that he can start to heat up earlier than opposed to later. There's no good reason right now to bench Bryce Young in favor of Andy Dalton.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I'm just saying, let's not act like Andy Dalton is not a good quarterback.
All right. Look, Andy Dalton had a good career over 10
And
years
it's-
ago. About 10 years ago.
And it's fair to say that he is not even a fraction of as good of a quarterback as he was in his prime in Cincinnati.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about the guy
he came
playing
in the Cam
when
draft. He got drafted the
Cam.
same year as Cam.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton.
The year after.
No, 2011. Same year.
Okay. And you know what? Cam's not in the league. I love Cam. Oh, we got to listen to the Gerald McCoy clip on Cam's podcast. Bring you back to some happiness days. Let's go to the next call.
What's going on, C3? This is Preston from Hickory. Just calling back the day after the game, after I've had enough time to cool off and really process everything. I guess, you know, the headache comes from, and our impatience comes from, like, this is going on over a decade of misery as a franchise and as fans of a franchise. So if you were still here and you were still a Carolina Panthers fan, you are one of the most diehard fans in all of football. But I mean, this is now the second straight offensive head coach we've had, and we can barely move the ball.
I know. That's really the offense.
Unless it's garbage time, we can barely move the ball. We do need to start quicker. But I'm trying to be optimistic today. Like I said, I've had a chance to cool off. And I guess the positive takeaway from that is, you know, that was a team that didn't quit. They didn't show that they didn't want to win. Now, we could have been a whole lot more urgent. The sense of urgency, getting in and out of plays, running tempo, we do need to be more urgent. I mean, everybody, we need to get to the line. Everybody needs to be hustling. That's what we want to see as fans, is them actually showing. We know they give a fuck, but we want to see it, like hustle. I need to see a sense of urgency out there. There's this tempo, and we only have so much time, and we're trying to win this game. But like I said, the positive, you know, they didn't show quit. They didn't quit, and they showed fight, and they showed they actually wanted to win the game.
That's fair.
So moving on to Atlanta,
tough
first
opponent.
home game. Like I said, I'm still not picking this team to win a game until they can show me that they can win a game.
Same here.
But I feel a little better. I think, you know, a Dave Canales-led team is just going to start off, you know, not just games slow. He's going to start off the season slow. So, you know, that's something he definitely needs to work on, because we got to keep in mind this is his second year as head coach. But,
yeah, I think the takeaway from
guys. Hey, good luck this week, boys. Keep on.
I think the takeaway from this call is that the Panthers aren't dead in the water just yet, right? Is that not only did they show some fight, but it didn't show the team does not feel like it feels like they're beating themselves right now. And if they can find a way to stop beating themselves and finally just play an opponent straight up, you might have an opportunity to win the game. Let's go to the next call.
What's up, guys? This is Cade from Jacksonville calling in again for the Tuesday show, and I just wanted to vent some stuff. Panthers suck. It's week 2. Our season's over. We know it's over. Y'all know it's over.
It's not over.
That's tough to say. I don't feel like I'm exaggerating that. Like, yeah, I guess there is a possibility we make the playoffs or we just turn it on, but that likelihood is not going to happen. Right. Not going to happen.
It's slim. That's sure.
But that's okay. I'm not going to let the Panthers affect my attitude towards the rest of the NFL season. I'm still going to enjoy this NFL season. I'm not going to let it just crush my hopes, soul, and dreams. I got to wait a whole nother year to see the Panthers be good or even have a possibility of being good. I'm not going to let that happen. But another thing I want to talk about is the fact that I'm so tired of having to watch a football game and judging my whole outlook on the day or a whole outlook on my team, as in the Carolina Panthers, based upon one person's performance, and that being Bryce Young. If we lose and Bryce Young has a good game, it's like we have to be excited for it. Or if we lose, or if we win and Bryce Young plays bad, it would. I don't know. It's like this conundrum that we're in the whole time of basing our happiness based off one person's performance, and it's so frustrating. It's so
tiresome.
Like, just it eats away. I just basing everything off one person's performance. The outlook of our future
as an
organization. It's like I'm just ready for this phase to be over and move on from Bryce Young. Like, I do not want that dude as my quarterback. I think the dude's a great person. And honestly, I think he may be able to work out somewhere else, maybe, out of this system, out of Carolina. I'm just ready for this phase of Bryce Young to be over. And, like, that's kind of a hard thing to say. But, like, even if he plays like freaking Patrick Mahomes the rest of the year, I don't know that I'd even be willing to want him again, want him back next year, want him as our quarterback, just because of past performance, past situations, and the stress of worrying about this dude has got me under. Like, why can't the team just be good, dude? Like, I don't know. Like, we have so many flaws, whether it's coaching problem, organizational failures, play on the field. Like, I don't know. I don't even know where to start. But I think it would be just good for everybody if we could just get through the phase of Bryce Young and just move on. I don't know if anybody else is feeling like that, but I'm just tired of worrying about the dude.
Good call. 2 points I want to talk about.
But, yeah, that's it, guys.
Good call.
Have a good show.
Thanks for the support you guys are watching, man. Look, it really can help us just by taking time smashing the thumbs up button. Really helps. Let's get those likes up as we're hanging out here. First point of the call is that season's over, right? It's doomed. Now, to me, is the question that I come to is, does that mean playoffs are bust? Is this season a doomed season because he mentioned the playoffs, mentioned being good? If the Panthers find a way to win 8 games, right, and miss the playoffs, is it a bad season, right? So to me, that sentiment is that it is doomed right now because the potential of being good in a meaningful way is not apparent. I don't know if I would have defined our season walking in nor today all based on the Panthers winning the division or making a playoff run.
Sure.
Yeah, listen, I would agree. I don't think a lot of us were really truly expecting a whole lot out of this season, but it goes, we were sort of having this conversation on the C3 Spaces, which everybody can follow the boys, Diesel Skills, Panther Pickle, Kobe online on Twitter, on X, whatever. But, we're all dealing with a lot of PTSD from other seasons. So it's like, it's not surprising that after 2 games of the year, we have fans that are like, bro, been there, done that. We have seen this shit a time or two before. I'm checking out because we know this is bullshit and we know how it's getting ready to go. So I understand that notion. I do think that it is a little bit too early to completely tap out of the season. Tony, you know what my tried and true saying is.
Week 6.
You don't know who the actual good and bad teams in the NFL are until after week 6 of the NFL season. That's just a simple fact of the matter to me. My last thing I'll say about Bryce is I put this on Twitter. Time is a flat circle. Bryce Young will miss a wide open receiver and fans will say Bryce is the problem. A receiver will drop a perfectly thrown pass from Bryce and fans will say receivers keep failing to do their job. Time is a flat circle. Please free us from this hell. And I think that's what the caller was talking about, right? So much of the perception of the Carolina Panthers lives and dies based on how Bryce Young is performing in this offense. And it does get tiresome. It really does.
It will be, CK, it will be about Bryce until it's not. And to answer the callers, I mean, the simple answer is this, is that every game, whether Bryce plays well and the Panthers lose, Bryce plays poorly and the Panthers win, or vice versa to any of those scenarios, it will always continue to circle back and be
Bryce,
about Bryce until we believe in him.
Just like it was always
until
about
we
Cam.
Just fully, Well, I mean, it was about Cam until like it, and maybe there were a group of people that never believed in Cam.
Yeah,
but
there were. I mean, there still were even in 2015.
There was a sentiment though, or at least, and maybe I know I'm Cam sexual, but like it was like it's like there's no player I want other than this. I mean, unless you give me like Tom Brady at that moment or something like that, as I can tell you there's a more, but there was never a time where I felt like Cam was the detriment to like, it was like, but with Bryce, we don't believe in him fully yet. So when he throws a pick, you're like, oh my gosh, is he good yet? We don't have the confidence or the luxury of confidence with him. And so it would always be about him till we either believe in him or he's not part of the story.
Well, that's the, Cody's absolutely right. It's like I would say it's an imperfect circle, or maybe I would say it's the figure eight, and that is
infinite loop.
Infinite.
Symbol.
Yeah. It's an infinite loop because of a couple things, right? To Cody's point, if you're a fan of Bryce, you're going to constantly blame everything else and then give all the credit to Bryce when, things do go his way. Right. But the opposite is very true as well. Bryce Young will throw a ball that in most cases any quarterback in the NFL will throw, and everybody will say, "Do you see how bad that throw is?" But you see Patrick Mahomes make that throw, they're like, "Did you see how great that exact same throw was?" Like just because it was behind a receiver by a foot or two, like they'll say that was the greatest throw I've ever seen on the planet because of who was throwing the ball. And so I think that it is an infinite loop. And I don't know that there's ever going to be a winner until either he gets cut or he shows that he's a franchise quarterback. And I'm not even convinced if he ever shows himself that he's a franchise quarterback, that people would be willing to accept that he's a good quarterback. They're going to always do the same thing. They did the same thing to Cam Newton in his best year. They were like,
yeah, that's going to be a small anomaly. That's going to be that kind of radical sentiment that will always exist that just refuse logic. But the people will come, CK, when the results happen.
Yeah, I mean, just like people who are big fans of Bryce are going to do the exact same thing in the opposite. He gets cut, they're going to follow him to whatever fan base or whatever team he goes to, and then he just does what Baker's doing, which, I don't know if we're ever going to think that that's going to be the case or not, but they're going to be like, "See, I told you so." It's going to be a constant game of cat and mouse, no matter which side of the capsule or of the belief system you are about what Bryce is as a quarterback.
Well, look, those people are called haters, man. Like honestly, and that's the thing is to it. Like you're gonna blindly follow something. Anything in life you blindly follow, you're a dumbass for doing it. Like there are people who say that Cam Newton in his 2015 year was not a good quarterback or still didn't believe in him. That was literally one of the best ever Look at the stats. Best
or just
ever
look at, but we just watched it. It was magical.
Together.
We'll listen to
it was magical. Yes,
Gerald McCoy said about it.
If you're going to look at that and say that he was still not a good quarterback, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. You have no idea what you're talking about. One of the best ever years ever by a quarterback put together was 2015 Cam Newton.
Did you see Gerald McCoy? Who's seen the Gerald McCoy clip?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It is incredible.
We can play it here soon. Also, Bryce Young had the fourth most passing yards of any NFL quarterback this year.
Well,
so, that's
just one stat. He's also got probably the most turnovers too. His just volume is like, he's definitely had 5. He had 2 picks and a fumble in game 1, right? And then he had a fumble and a pick in this game. So, look, is Bryce's game was incomplete in this one. It wasn't his worst. I think this is just, I was very excited. I go back to Pickle's statement. Last year, this team spirals completely. And look, if anything, we had that whole 18 CK where the golfer that I am not somehow shoots a bogey. Yeah. And instead of a triple or quadruple or something, I'm like, and I hit one smacker off the tee, and I'm like, woo! It's like maybe golf ain't that bad. That was, and if we could have just pulled it out, it really, I think would have been a great momentum for the team. But they didn't do it. Let's go to the next call.
Yeah, guys, y'all know this is Panther Pickle. 3 things I want to say. If you didn't listen to the Friday if you didn't listen to the Monday Spaces, you can find it on my timeline. You really need to check it out. Cody then retweeted it, so it'd be easy to find if you want to listen to it. It was really intense and thought-provoking, and some people just had to air it out. But I wanted to say, we fans need to take a chill pill. I know to us it's been 8 long years of hell.
Yes.
8 long years of dealing with Matt Rule and Teddy Bridgewater and then Sam Darnold and then Baker Mayfield. And it's just been, and you get a few Steve Wilkes thrown in there. Then you get a Frank Wright in that process. And it's been 8 long years of hell.
Yeah.
But all that reset for that Panthers organization, all that reset when they hired Dan Morgan and Dave Canales. That was a reset the timeline, so to speak. It's exactly, they reset the timeline. Like science fiction, they reset the timeline. All that other stuff is in the past, and you can't deal with it. Now, got a few holdovers here and there, but, and then Bryce was only here a year, and we could say, well, he was a rookie last year. No, he wasn't. You might want to think he was, but he wasn't. We just need to chill on some of these players. Over highly criticize them. Are some of them having issues? Yes, they are. And I can tell you, if I'm Dan Morgan, I'm feeling pretty bad about my first draft class. But I'm reminding myself that he had the scouts from Scott Fitterer working with him, and he had the training staff from Scott Fitterer. Because the first thing he did when this offseason happened was fire the medical staff. And right after the 2024 draft, and I'm getting that. I want to make sure. Right after the Xavier Legette and Jonathan Brooks and Trevor Wallace picks, right after that draft class, he fired all the scouts. And then after this past season, he fired the medical staff. So to them, it's been a reset. It's been a reset of the rebuild. And now we're in a real rebuild. And fans need to accept that and understand that. To them, it's been 8 long years, yes. But to the organization, it hasn't been. And yeah, I know fans.
All right, he's got a little bit left to go.
All right, and I shall continue. And yeah, I know the fans are screaming, but it's been 8 long years. Yes, I think the team knows that. The team accepts that and understands that. But it just still doesn't change the fact that they're in a year 2 of a rebuild for Dan and Dave. It's a year 2 of a rebuild.
Very, very friendly.
Is Bryce Young the future quarterback here? We don't know that. Some are going to scream, no, he's not. Some are going to scream, yeah, he still is. And some are going to scream, I don't know. I'm in the I don't know category. Okay? It don't look good, I'll admit that. But if we have a top 5 pick and they have a quarterback rated high in the next draft, who's to say they don't take it? I think they should take a linebacker. I think linebacker is the most important need on this team. But I don't run the show. The defense looked pretty good with the exception of linebacker Sunday. So we're still rebuilding, folks. It's in year 2 of a long rebuild. And unfortunately, sometimes when you rebuild, you have to reset the rebuild. And, older fans, Tony, if you think hard about it, older fans will understand when people were screaming, we need to rebuild. How many older fans like me were screaming, no, we don't. Y'all don't know what that realizes. And nobody listened. Y'all keep pounding. We're all in the same family, the same fan base. We've got to stick together. We can all have different opinions. That's been a long core issue with C3. We've always had different opinions, but we're in one fan base. And that's never been more prevalent than it is right now. Keep pounding, y'all. Keep pounding.
Thanks, Panther. I think of both sides. I would say both sides is that it has been 8 years of rebuild and in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Right. And also at the same time, is that you got to give Dan a little time. Right. And I still don't think the Jonathan Brooks pick was a terrible pick. I mean, I know it sucked. It didn't work out. Yeah. But that dude was about being like is just if they would have figured out how to better. I think they maybe waited too long to put him in. Maybe they put him in too soon. Is that it's just unfortunate. The Trevin Wallace though pick is tough, right? But I think Dan has done some good things, and they've. I think he's going to be the last person at this point for us to zero in our crosshairs. Cody, we'll go back to the show right now. Is if there was a pick that has looked exceptional from day one. Tetairoa McMillan nominated for Rookie of the Week.
Yes, sir.
If anything, it kind of disappeared in the second half for the Panthers game, and I think that and when he disappeared, how about the guy disappeared making one of the greatest catches you could imagine? It just happened to be out of bounds.
Dude, it was bananas,
I'm just waiting for that to be inbounds, dude. That's 2 weeks in a row. The dude's had an incredible catch, just either just outside the boundary or inside, and it's taken away because it's like because of that pass interference. And I think that would have been a catch had they not called that pass interference, and I think they would have called it as such. But man, that's so disappointing, man.
Freaky ability. Tetairoa McMillan nominated for the NFL Rookie of the Week. Panthers rookie receiver was nominated as one of the Rookies of the Week following a strong Week 2 performance in front of a big crowd of his friends and family in Arizona. He went to Arizona State, so that makes
I thought he was going to take that one pass to the house, dude.
I know.
It felt like he was.
It was clear that he's a great route runner. I don't think he's a burner.
No, and he's fast enough.
Right, and we sort of always known that.
Plays, but not fast enough to just pull away.
Yeah, so he was the rookie receiving leader after 2 weeks. After week 2 with 168 receiving yards. But how about this, man? So many people were basically saying, hey, man, like we feel that this dude has the opportunity to be the best wide receiver in Panthers history. And boy, if he isn't living up to it, man, he is so far through 2 games. He is ahead of the mark that Kelvin Benjamin and Mohsin Muhammad set for the Carolina Panthers.
What's the metric? Because he hasn't gotten a touch. What's the metric? Because he hasn't gotten a touchdown yet.
Just yards.
Okay, yards.
Hey,
yards and receptions, I think.
People don't like Kelvin Benjamin, and I understand that, but he had a better rookie year than Julio Jones did. Just putting that out there.
An incredible rookie year.
Putting that out there.
Incredible rookie year. So, but he's on pace, man. As Tet is looking like you're seeing why they drafted him. You're also seeing, if you look at Atlanta, what their defense has done on the other side, why they drafted the guys they did in the first round. All of a sudden, their team is shooting up the ranks. What we got here?
This is just some clips of Tetairoa. Yeah, that was a beautiful one-handed snag.
See, these are the things about Bryce, though, is like, while we say Bryce had a great game, is like you go back to that Renfro pass in week 1, led a little bit too much. I mean, what else can he throw there? You know, is that good coverage too? Yeah. This is the one that, look, man, you that kid and then that you said he went away with that knee injury. I think that knee injury is just a broken ass kneecap, because they're playing on turf. That mug just hit that knee as hard as could be.
Do we think that this Sunday will be the first team touchdown that we see at home?
I hope so.
I think they're going to force him until they get it to him. I mean, he's played too well for him not to be rewarded in the red zone with a tutty, man.
Yeah, I mean, we need it. Is where he is. I think it feels like 70% of the offense runs through him right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is the most dependable player on this team so far as a rookie, and you like that as That's the kind of thing is we always make excuses for these rookies. And and where are we going next? Because I don't want to usher in the XL. Are we talking about?
No, yeah, we're going from good to bad. Literally perfect timing because when you have T-Mac balling out of control, at the same time you have second-year first-round pick Xavier Legette is really, and I mean really, not looking good. 8 targets. Minus 2 yards. This is from catcrave.com.
This is going off of the Monday morning press conference. He was the focal point of a couple of questions from David Newton, Scott Fowler, and I think Person followed up on one.
Yeah, man. So the disappointing start isn't ideal. Tetairoa McMillan, Hunter Renfrow, and even Bryson Tremaine were all far more productive. But even in the face of mounting concerns, Canales has complete faith in the South Carolina product to turn the tide. He would go on to say, I believe in him. I believe that his approach to this the right way and just continues to work. So I'm going to continue to encourage him and be in his corner and push him to keep striving for that and to keep working on his chemistry with Bryce because he's got that talent. I think at times he can be hard on himself, and I think he can really be critical of himself, and I want him to make sure that he knows he's supported and that we've got to play ball. Let's go. And there's that balance of pushing him, and there's that balance of saying, you got this, remember who you are. So listen.
The mental part is getting to him, right? I think I have some question about his conditioning right now.
It's a fair thing because he does not look fast.
He doesn't look fast. He never looked he doesn't play in pads. You know how you have the 40 times and then the guys that play faster in pads. He ran an exceptional 40 in the pro day or the combine, but he doesn't accelerate. Like you don't like the wide receiver screen to him. It's acceleration. He needs to get some momentum. But like to me, I just know, and this is just myself who's right now trying to become a healthier person or more fit. Like where I put weight on is in my face sometimes, like fat face. And like, I really feel like when you look at him in the helmet, he looks like a different person than last year. And then, you saw him walking back up to the line. Some people was it awareness or urgency? It looks gassed a little bit. I was just wondering about his conditioning a little, but he needs to just Steve Smith played like a guy that had XL's body. We need XL to not play like a guy who has Steve Smith's body. Like times are just, and I don't know if it's a mental thing. You got to get a little, kind of just get some momentum or some different things is like, and I don't think he's just been a bum entirely because you could look at, the toe drag one error on his part, but the jump ball in the end zone, great defensive play by the defender.
Yeah. I also wanted to bring this up as well. They're very short clips. So then there were some passes from Bryce Young to Xavier Legette that honestly were dirt balls.
One at the feet. Is this the one at the feet right here?
This is that one right before the drop.
Well, there was that one that was literally right to the ground. Then you have one more.
One hit somebody in the face. I don't know if.
But look, then you have this one right here, and again, it's just Xavier Legette is open, and the ball goes to the ground.
I think he got hit on that one too.
Yeah, but it's like
Does that count as one of his 10 targets?
Yes, those were one of
So
the.
there's two.
So it's like you do have to sort of parse through the good and the bad. I think if you just look at those stats as a blanket and say, oh, well, I guess that means he's terrible. There were some plays where Xavier Legette is open. But it just, if the ball was batted or if there was a defender in Bryce Young's face, the ball just didn't make it to him. And this is not me defending Xavier Legette. Like I said in the offseason, when you're in rap music videos and you're going to the Kentucky Derby and now you have a sandwich in the stadium named after you and all this other horse shit, it's like you're doing all this stuff that's indicative of being a superstar wide receiver without having ever proved it yet. So
Well, you gotta
now
capitalize when you got your moment, because think about this: if he keeps playing like this, his
yeah, but
moment's
he's not
gone.
a superstar though.
No, but
Like,
his moment's gone. If he gets injured, or if the play continues like this, is like all sponsorships, advertise, whatever that is, whatever attention. So I don't blame anybody for that. I am surprised because
but you
I
also can't blame that the criticism is ratcheted up double.
He played better in his rookie start than he played this year so far, right? Yeah. The other thing that's which is that Tet on the other side. You think it would be starting to open some things up for some other guys, and XL got a lot. He needs to play big. He needs to get some dog in him, and he needs to put some things together and get some momentum, get that big body cooking, because you don't want him to be extra lotion. You want him to be XL. You don't want him to be Jonathan Mingo 2.0. You want him to be a guy that the Panthers drafted smartly so that they could get a fifth-year option on. Right now, he's looking a little fat in the face, and he ain't getting stuff done. But you look at some of those plays, it's not only him. And this is what CK's continued to come back. It's like it's always something. It's always something. It's like you could wait to say, well, XL dropping the ball. Well, Bryce Young is making some poor passes sometimes. Sometimes the guys are making good defense. Like it's like there is a symphony of challenges right now facing the Carolina Panthers. That's all. I mean, like that's it. It's like I wish it could be. I yearn for the days of where we just say it's Byron Bell's fucking fault. I yearn for the days of Matt Khalil. It's his fucking fault. But now there's a lot of people's fault. Let's continue, Cody.
Those days are never coming back. So listen, I wanted this to lead into the discussion about the defense. We've been talking a lot about the offense, but as of right now, you can make the case that the Carolina Panthers have two of, if not the best corners playing in the NFL right now, as wild as that may seem. So this is a chart of passer rating when targeted versus yards allowed per coverage snap. You see all the way up there at the very tippy top right is J.C. Horn, and then not below him is Mike Jackson. So, we've been having this discussion, like how good or bad is the Carolina Panthers defense? And after the Jaguars game, Tony, you were very ardent that, hey, this defense today really was not the problem.
Yeah.
Now you look at this game against Arizona, the offense gave up 10 points in a 27-point game. So you can now argue that this Carolina Panthers defense only gave up 17 points to the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Are we being too hard on this defense?
Yes.
And how do we sort of parse through this?
Yes. Go ahead, CK.
I'll answer this because I am one of the ones that's too hard on the defense. No, we're not being too hard on the defense. And that is because the same reason that when people are being difficult or hard on Bryce is the exact, you've got to prove it, right? And 2 games against offenses that really haven't been able to put it together at all up to this point. When you look at what Jacksonville was able to do this week, it's clear we weren't facing juggernauts when it comes to the offensive output. And so
look too bad.
We're going to see what they do this week, because they are going to run Bijan Robinson into the ground. If you think they're going to be doing it, letting Michael Penix try to beat us with his arm, you're out of your mind. They're going to be absolutely attacking this defensive front. Now, if they can come out and stop the run early, then I will give them their flowers. But I will say I am softened on them from where I was last week. Last week I was very much. They gave up 200 rushing yards. There were big key things. And Tony, to your credit, you were saying that it wasn't as bad as I was making it sound, right? And that's a fair point.
They're great either. Like let's not misinterpret that. I'm saying that the defense is great. The Panthers' offense has been far more problematic for this team than the Panthers' defense so far.
Well,
and I won't disagree with that.
And let me just tell you this, Mr. Stat Daddy, Bat Daddy. right? The defense gave up 6 points in the second half in week 1, and week 2 they gave up 7 points in the second half.
Yeah, and that's
So I
what
mean,
I'm
think
saying,
about
like,
that is that they've collectively is the Carolina Panthers lost this game in the second quarter of last
Look at this, 100%.
right is
100%.
that, and it was on a late, let's see, and I wish I could look. I need to find the drive. What happened? But they get
we had
11 plays, 45 yards. They get a touchdown.
Yeah.
So what you do is you turn the ball. What is that? A turnover? What did we do?
Well, look,
at the end of the second quarter, that
in the second quarter, we had 1:47 seconds left. We were down 10-3. Okay.
Yeah.
We had bad play calling. I'm sorry. With 3 timeouts,
I disagree, bro,
1:47
because we left them too much time. But continue.
Well, but here's the thing: with 1:47 seconds left, down 3 or down 10, 3 timeouts, you need to go try to score. Okay. Had we scored 3 points or not let the other team score a touchdown, you're going into the half with a totally different game. Okay.
Well, we were trying to score. The problem was
we weren't. We ran a halfback dive on the first play. With 1:47 seconds left, 3 timeouts.
And then what you did is the Cardinals get the ball with 51 seconds left, dude.
Yeah.
The 51 seconds, and they go down and score a touchdown. They are able to get the ball on Carolina's 45-yard line.
Yeah, thanks to a great return from former Carolina Panther.
Yeah, a giant return. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if anything, the problem was they tried to score too quickly. I think that was the thing. I think Canales was really thinking about this is like, our offense ain't doing shit, and we want to make sure. Look, we gave them 51 seconds, the end of the second quarter, 51 seconds left, 2-minute warning. Carolina has the ball. Penalty on Tommy Tremble, offensive hold declines. Carolina's 1st and 10, shotgun Chuba Hubbard for 3 yards. 2nd and 7, shotgun Young Bryce, incomplete to Legette. I wonder if that was the football, the one that went at the feet. 3rd and 7, Carolina with 1:07 left. Bryce Young short pass to Jatavion Sanders, Carolina, 8 yards.
Which he caught. He caught that ball.
Oh, that was it. That was the
call right there.
That was
the first down. He caught that ball, and they called it back.
So I don't think, Greg, that they weren't trying to score. I don't think that. I think that the problem is that they were trying to make sure when they did score, there was not enough time for the Arizona Cardinals. The problem was you had that overturned call right there, and then this is what you get is you get a 60-yard return. Punt 60 yards for a 29-yard return, it looks like, to the Carolina 45. This entire game, look, you almost could have gotten away with the turnovers.
Yeah.
That failure right at the ends where they walk in and they get they basically put up 10 points in a short span and then get the ball back and are able to drag time out. But going back to the defense on this, guys, look, I mean, the defense was historically bad last year. It's like one of the worst defense of all time. The Panthers defense I'm not saying they're great, but they've collectively in 2 weeks over the second half have given up 13 points.
Yeah. Prince McMillan also looked really good. Got his first sack. Patrick Jones also started to come alive. Like, it's taking a little bit of time. It's a slow burn, but I do not think that our defense is as terrible this year, at least to this point, as it was last year. And Derek Brown helps tremendously.
Yeah, Derek Brown is back in the mix. You have a cohesiveness when it comes to J.C. Horn and Michael Jackson back there. And I have to call him Michael Jackson, by the way. It's not Mike Jack. And so I think that to answer the original question, and I think this is, I think all of us, and I could be wrong, but I think we all can agree on this. It's not being too hard on them because they haven't shown a dominant performance yet, right? We haven't seen more than 1 sack in a game. We've had the 1 interception on a couple of those games, and that one, this game wasn't. It was because of some pressure, admittedly, to the defensive line. So I don't until I feel like we've been able to dominate, I still don't feel like I'm ready to consider this
How many points did
defense
they
an
give up
asset.
in this game? 20?
17, I think, is what it was. But
Even-
again, same reason
Not
people are
because
saying,
one's a pick six, so you're gonna put that on the defense.
no, well,
right?
it was a
I mean,
fumble,
so,
right?
yeah.
Right. So it's
Or
So,
not pick six, but a fumble, right?
yeah.
It's like, so I mean, really, what
Here's-
have they not done? I mean, I'm not saying that they're, again, like we're talking about that this team can win without scoring. I
Sure.
think this defense has played better. This offense has played worse than we need them to play, and the defense has played as good as we expected them to play.
Let me ask you, I think, a relevant question with this then. Do you feel as though when you watch these games, we're getting the best version of the offenses we're facing?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Because I mean, but also CK, that's a fair question because it kind of like goes back to our fool's gold defense a couple of years ago. Is like, what do they really have to do? What do they really have to do? But these offenses don't have to do anything because our offense isn't doing anything. That's like the thing is like, it's not that our defense it's just porous and just coughing up scores. And the offense is continuously just not scoring. So I think, I mean, I see where you're going with that. Like, it's like we're not getting a team that's like throwing the full fucking, everything at us. But you know what? They're keeping us in games.
Yeah,
they kept us alive in this game.
I don't disagree with that take either. But what I'm expressing, I guess, is a lot of people are trying to take away Bryce Young's stats at the end of the game last week because of it was garbage time stats. We all know, and we can go back to 2015 and look at this. When a team has that type of a lead, they take the foot off the gas. And so, like, we can talk about the half, this defense being able to hold both of these teams to a manageable amount of points at the end of in the second half. But we saw it all too often in a high-powered offense where we couldn't do anything on offense in that final quarter and a half, and we let that other team come back in and almost win those games.
I think that's fair, but I don't think in this case, CK, I agree with it at this point because I don't think that offense is just smoking us. There are a couple plays. In this case, you had that special teams play where you get the ball on the 45, puts them in a very advantageous position.
Sure.
It's like if they would have held them to a field goal, very tough though. I mean, like you got to hold them 10 yards, right, to hold them to a field goal there. But the one is the dagger play on this was that Kyler Murray run where Rose Boom gets this, and then the dude just like you put the Mario music on and he's just running around like that. And so I mean, there are moments that defense I think this defense could be if they can play this well and the Panthers just score a little in the first half.
Yeah, I agree.
I won't be upset. I'm sitting here. If your level of disappointment, if you're more upset with one side of the ball, is it the defense or the offense? For me, it's clearly the offense.
Yeah, the offense was supposed to be continuing where they were and a step forward from where they
Cody's
were.
Sitting here saying we're gonna be putting up 28. We're gonna be winning. It's like we might lose, but we're gonna be putting up 30 going into the season. Nope.
Well, I was figuring that we might have to, but also hold up. I also would not say that the Jacksonville Jaguars or the Arizona Cardinals are anywhere near prolific offenses.
Yeah.
Now,
to be fair, I don't necessarily
They're the ones we played though.
I don't necessarily think that the Falcons are either, but we have Bijan Robinson coming to town, so this is going to be a real test of what our run defense is able to do against a very good rushing team for the Falcons. And we know what they want to do. They want to get Bijan the ball. So we know that coming in. They know that coming in. Let's see how they're able to prepare for it, because to me, this is one of the biggest tests early in the season, and it's going to tell you how our roster is built to go against a division rival. And I think that's really important when we're assessing what this team is capable of doing in 2025.
I've got a big question about this right here, and I know you're going to lead it in. So lead us into this, but I need to know what happened at the end of that Giants game.
So this is according to Jeff Kerr, from CBS Sports, his hot seat rankings. He has Mike McDaniel 1, Brian Daboll of the Giants 2, Brian Callahan of the Tennessee Titans number 3,
Oh man,
and our very own Dave Canales of the Carolina Panthers at number 4. I mean, again, it's only 2 games into the season.
5. Stefanski at 5. Do you, how about this? Is Dave Canales? Do you think he is? Should he be at 5, or should he be higher or lower? I'm gonna be mad, man. I don't want to go through another coaching search yet.
No,
I don't think that Dave Canales is cooked as a coach yet. I'm upset. I haven't been impressed. I need to see steps forward, like I want to see from Bryce Young, from whatever player group, whatever you can pick, whatever Excel. I want to see Dave Canales grow as a coach significantly from week to week. I've not, he's not come out here and just been like, he's at fault as much as anybody. But I don't know if I'm ready to move on from the dude yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to move on from it either. You want to go first?
Yeah, I think that's premature.
Even if we don't
put him in this, he deserves.
Let me ask you this, then, because you say it's premature. I think we're like, if at the end of the season we don't believe in Bryce, right? If the team doesn't believe in Bryce, do you think it's just time to do the Band-Aid pull off? Man, I don't think he's going to choose. I think you have Dan Morgan choose.
Sure. I mean, but you're going to have these guys be able to work in tandem about who they want as a quarterback. And I tell you what, I don't think they're going to go with another quarterback that is an outlier when it comes to size in comparison to what the rest of the NFL is going after.
I think we're going to prolong it, right? Is if you are already moving on from Bryce, does Canales become collateral damage regardless? Because if you get a rookie quarterback out there the next year or whatever, and it's not that happy, then he's going to be gone anyway. I think both heads probably roll together, sadly, and I don't.
I think they're. I think you. Let's say. Let me ask you: how quickly are you willing to let go of Canales? Is there a scenario where you think Canales is gone at the end of this year? Can
we also admit that it depends on how this season goes? If Bryce Young falls off of a cliff, then you're probably looking to get Dave Canales a quarterback of his own. But also, if we're still talking about play calling being such an issue towards the end of the season and just not putting our players in good positions, then that's also going to be something that you're going to have to factor into this. And before I pass the mic to Greg, I echo the sentiments of Kitty exactly in our chat. She says, I need a coach with an anger issue, a backbone, testosterone, a set of nuts. He may be pretty to look at, but damn the happy-go-lucky bullshit. And I want the same thing. I want a head coach that's willing to tell these guys that whatever the fuck you're doing out on the field, it is not indicative of the standard that we are trying to implement here at the Carolina Panthers. Like I've said before, I'm done with the Boy Scouts. I want some dudes that are really ready to roll heads when need be. And as of right now, I really do question that about Dave Canales.
Yeah. Well, look, for me personally, I'm getting rid of Bryce Young before I'm getting rid of Canales, simply because Canales didn't pick Young. Canales came in to try to save Young, and some players are unsavable. So if this year ends up being the way it looks like it's going, or we end up winning 3-4 games and Bryce Young looks like garbage, I'm not getting rid of Canales first. I'm getting rid of Bryce Young first. Bryce Young has had way more opportunities. He's been through a few coaches, a few different things. We've seen Dave Canales succeed with other quarterbacks, okay? So maybe give Canales a chance with a quarterback he chooses to pick.
You've seen him succeed with one quarterback that everybody else has also seemingly succeeded with, and that is Baker Mayfield.
We didn't succeed with him, and
I know, but I think this is
not everybody.
I think if Greg, I understand what you're saying, but I also don't think is that if you get rid of one or the other, I think if Bryce Young is not the quarterback of this team next year, Dave Canales should not be the coach next year. And it might be unfair.
Yeah,
it
Bryce-
might be
that-
unfair
that's
and it
giving
might be
Canales an unfair
problematic
shot.
because here's
Yeah.
the thing is that, look, you go and get another quarterback and then you have any struggles, like, and it's not this, it's like he's in a lame duck situation next year. I feel like it's kind of like what Evero would be like for CK. You know what I'm saying? Is it doesn't matter. Because what you do is that you go and you get a new coach, you get a new quarterback, and they live and die together, the next group. Because then if you're bringing in another coach, you bring in another quarterback, and then you give this Canales another year, and then you bring in another coach. We're in this like, oh, well, now they need 2 years in a system together and this. And I know it's unfair and it's shitty, but like, look, is you brought Dave Canales in here to make the offense better. And if Bryce Young isn't going to be the quarterback next year, they roll with him. Like, I'm sorry. I think that it would be I don't want this to happen. I certainly don't want it to happen. I don't want to go through another coach search. I don't want to go through another QB search. But if we're looking for another QB, I don't know why you would tell us that Dave Canales is the guy that you entrust that youngin to.
I think here's my thing, Tony, is when you look at Bryce Young's job is to be a good quarterback. Being a head coach is so much more than the success of a quarterback. So much more. So I think that if just because you have a quarterback who can't cut it, and I'm not saying Bryce Young is that guy, I'm just saying if it ends up being like that, you have a quarterback who can't cut it, it doesn't mean the head coach is totally at fault for that. I think that Canales wasn't given a shot to have the guy he picked to come in.
I agree.
I think that if you're going to have him in here, give him the shot to have a guy he picked. Now, if he goes 1 year, 2 years, and it's not like that, then we're in the same position as if we hired somebody new next year and drafted a guy that was not good. We're in the exact same position. So give him a shot to have the guy he wants.
And to Greg's point, one of the things we talked about is, are we in a position where we're ready to draft a quarterback next year? And
I don't think so.
The answer is no. So why in the world would you not give Dave Canales an opportunity with a veteran quarterback like he's been able to do in the past? Like, his successes have always come on the failures of other teams. And what I mean by that is Baker Mayfield, the Geno Smiths, right? All of these guys that, you know, he was
Russell
applauded
Wilson.
for
He was
turning
associated
them
with
around,
Russell
right?
Wilson and Baker.
Yeah, but who would that quarterback be, though?
That's the
it also can't just be any old veteran. Like, we're not going to go get Joe Flacco if the Browns.
Joe Flacco, it's going to be who's the dude that?
I would love Trevor Lawrence, but there's no way the Jaguars are moving up.
I love Trevor. The fucking
Real quick.
Hold
on. You guys
fucking
just
terrible,
said
dude.
Better than
the
Bryce.
Jaguars were not an elite offense,
Yeah,
even
agreed.
though they put up 27 points for the last 2 weeks. And now you're saying you
Did
want
you
Trevor
not
Lawrence?
see Trevor
come on,
Lawrence's
seriously?
game?
Seriously?
He looked fucking. This is actually 44. Rose got me. It's gonna be Mac Jones.
Oh, Trevor Lawrence is better than Mac fucking Jones.
Dude,
But
Trevor
Mac
Lawrence is
Jones.
garbage, dude.
No, he's not.
Trevor
He's
Lawrence is not the
terrible,
guy
bro.
he was drafted
He is
to be.
not
He's
good.
a good.
Hey,
he's
Fine,
an
but
okay
right now he
quarterback.
has proven himself to
He's
be
an
more
okay
than
quarterback.
Bryce Young has.
Greg, neither was Geno Smith and neither was Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And
Thank
neither
you,
one of those
CK.
were guys that were considered. And then Dave Canales came in. I'm not going to say he fixed those guys because I don't think it's fair to those guys to say that they were broken. But
Who is our veteran?
I think that it's like a Trevor Lawrence is just an example, because I think at the end of this year, if the Jaguars look the way that offense, you can talk about the points they put up. That if you watched that game, that offense did not look like they should have won, come anywhere close to
And
scoring
the
that many.
Bengals, bro. The Bengals, dude. The
Browning
the
threw like
Bengals
3
quarterback
interceptions
threw 3 interceptions.
after
3
Burrow went out.
interceptions after Burrow went out, and they still lost, and they were ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I think
I'm
it's
sorry, like
I think
he's
it's
making dumb. And Trevor Lawrence is not it, man. And I'm sorry, Cody.
I don't think
You
so
got
either,
this.
yeah.
You got this fucking. You've already dug in too far, and I know that your pride is
No,
in
not
this.
too far. He's not a terrible quarterback. He's not.
He's
but-
not
but-
great. He's not
but what
great
it-
either.
He look
Fine.
good.
If you don't want to say that he's great, but he's also putting the ball
good.
in the
I'm
end
saying
zone.
he's not
He-
great. I'm saying
yes,
he's
he
not
is. He knows
good.
when to pick up a first down with his feet,
No,
unlike
he
our
doesn't.
fucking
No,
quarterback
he
right
doesn't. He knows
now.
how to throw
So
a pick across
again,
his body.
whatever, dude. What I'm saying is, CK made the point that if you have a quarterback that has historically been mid or whatever you want to call it, then if you have a coach like Canales who has built up quarterbacks into being the best version of themselves, then yeah, I would not mind that. But I don't even know why we're talking about it. They just paid Trevor Lawrence all this money. Trevor Lawrence isn't moving away from Jacksonville.
You are extra lotion for Trevor Lawrence, dude. And Miss Kid Cat, you gotta check this. It's like we got some real questions when it comes to Cody and fucking Trevor Lawrence. But here, let's go
He's
back.
been better than Bryce, and that is undeniable.
Let's go back to this slide right here.
Undeniable.
I'm driving back, and look, we gotta get back to the calls. We go back to the Giants Cowboys game in this like epic shootout where Russell Wilson throws like. I was driving back from the beach I was visiting with my grandma, and thankfully I went and spent the weekend with my grandmother, and then she went to the hospital. Thankfully she's at home and she's recovering and everything's okay. Or but she's gonna be 90 in December. Fox, she's the best. I love this woman more. She loves me more than anybody in the world. It's very important. So it's nice, like you just take the time to do something. So I'm driving back, put the phone on in the car, just in the back, like just checking a couple of things. And I swear, and maybe I was wrong, but it looked like the Giants were in victory formation, basically, with 50 seconds left, up 3, and somehow it was in overtime. Did I get that wrong? Like what? How this? I felt like the Giants had that game. It looked like in the bag, and then all of a sudden they're in overtime. What the fuck happened? Did anybody? I looked highlights, and they just skipped to like straight to overtime.
Yeah, they Aubrey kicked like a 64-yard field goal to tie it up. Because when Russell Wilson threw that touchdown pass to Neighbors, at the end of the game, it was like 30 seconds left in the game. Yeah, he threw that touchdown, and they went up by 3. And so, but that was 30 seconds too long. 30 seconds too long, especially with the rules in the with regard to the kickoff. I'd be interested to see if it was a kickoff return or if they kicked it into the end zone and they got it on the 35, because we got to keep in mind 30 seconds to go 20 yards to allow him to kick a 64-yard field goal is not that unheard of, because Brandon Aubrey right now, that is a tie. I'm hoping we have a kicker with ice in his veins like that dude. That dude is money.
Cody, let's rock back to some calls. How about for a few minutes? We'll take a couple more calls. Number 252-228-50.
We can do all the calls. All we have left is the Falcons preview.
Okay, perfect. Let's rock through them.
Yeah, hey guys, calling in from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
I think at this point we know that Bryce is not going to be it. He's not it for our future. So I think that we need to ask ourselves the next question: is Dave Canellis the next guy?
Yeah, we're just.
Is he always going to be our guy? Is he going to be there next year? So why would we continue to play Bryce? I think if Canellis is going to stay, you got to play some other quarterbacks. And if we bring somebody in, does that mean we still keep Dave next year? What do you guys think? All right, keep pounding.
Keep pounding. We sort of just talked about this a little bit, but like it might not be the answer that you want. But for me personally, Cody here speaking, the answer that I can give is that it just depends on what this season holds for us. If we still have a bunch of drops, or if we still have Bryce throwing dirt balls, then it's really going to be tough to evaluate this offense that Dave Canellis is calling if the players aren't executing. Now, of course, that is an example of the coach. As the coach goes, so does the team. But I also do think that it is somewhat fair to say that, as your call indicated, if Bryce Young is not the future, I would not mind letting Dave Canellis and Dan Morgan decide who they want their quarterback to be going forward for another year. I don't think that's unfair.
Changed my mind on that. Not changed my mind about the Canellis entirely, but if you go rookie quarterback, if you're picking rookie quarterback, I think you go no head coach. I think if we're going vet bridge, I'm okay with bringing Canellis. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It doesn't have to be either or there.
Sure. It all just depends on who's available. Also, right now, judging on what we thought going into the college football season versus now, there is not really a ton of premier quarterback talent in this draft outside Drew Aller from Penn State.
Lenore Sellers, baby.
Looked pedestrian. He
No,
looked
he got a
pedestrian
concussion.
against Vanderbilt
No,
and
he
got a concussion.
He was out.
Okay,
Dude. He
so
was
we
like
don't want
7
another
for 9
Anthony.
with a touchdown.
So we don't
Fuck
want
that.
another
Get my
Anthony
face.
Richardson, do we?
Fuck that. No,
No, fuck
7
that.
for
You
9
just have the Cam fucking love, just like you think I do. But Trevor
Not
Lawrence
bro.
is not
He
Cam
got a
Newton.
straight
He
concussion,
never
and then
will
they
be.
put up 40
And I'm
points.
done with these players from South Carolina. Fuck that.
He was like 7 for 9, dude, with a touchdown. And then he got a concussion.
He also seems to have.
Like, well, how does he look like ass? So,
injuries.
because South Carolina got their ass beat after he left, he is, I just got Cam-itis. And yeah, he does look like Cam.
Yeah,
He's
Cam-itis.
not
That's
good,
100% what
dude.
it is.
He
He also isn't like a proven winner for a long duration of football games either.
Right. You're right. He can't beat teams while he is on the sidelines. He's not good enough.
Or when
Next
he's on
call.
the field.
To the charismatic CK, the tenacious Tony Dunn, and yes, the incomparable Cody Lack, General Greg, the Stat Daddy. Salute.
What's up, brother?
What up, C3 Legion? It's the Hope Dilla checking in real quick.
Dilla, what's up?
Happy Tuesday, everybody. So I've had a chance to let the past couple of weeks digest as far as us being 0-2 as a team. And I've had a chance to really process and think about this and, see where I could potentially find some hope as your Hope Dilla. But before I go there, I got to ask a question. And this was something I was thinking about. When was the last time we dominated a team? When was the last time we had a game where we jumped out like 14-0 and we won the game like 35-14? When did that last happen? Around 2019, 2020, maybe? I can't remember. It might have been one after that. But I said all that to say, I heard Dave Canales in a press conference talking about how it falls on him, the urgency. The thing I need Canales to know, and we say this all the time in church, there's a difference between confession and repentance. It's not enough just to say, I need to do this. At some point, you got to turn things around. And so I'm hopeful that as the season progresses, that things will turn around. But anyway, y'all, this the Hope Dilla. Much love to you all out there. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding, brother.
All
Go
right.
ahead,
Next.
CK. Oh, yeah, okay.
Guys, will you guys comment?
Go ahead.
No. All right.
I like the
Guys,
optimism.
I hope your Tuesday's treating you well. I had a couple days to think it over, day and a half. I'm still just frustrated with this team. Man, I'm telling you, I think we're playing for third place this year in the NFC South. Caught a little bit of the Saints game in week 1, a little bit on Sunday. Man, I'm scared. I'm scared we're going to be in the cellar again this year. I know they're not good, but man, we're not playing well. A couple questions for you guys. What the hell are we doing? We're signing linebackers from practice team squads across the NFL going into week 3 again the season. Did the higher ups in this team not realize that we didn't have shit for linebacker play even before the injury? I mean, this just blows my mind. I guess, yeah, we're going to move on from that. But my real question is, and Cody, maybe you can answer this. Anybody jump in. What the fuck does Brad Idzik do? Like, if he's not calling plays,
yeah,
you got Coach Lasso over there trying to get the team ready to go before lay a game penalty. What's Brad Idzik doing? Why is he not up in the box in Canales' ear saying, hey, looks like they're going Tampa 2, rushing both linebackers from the outside edge, maybe throw an extra blocker or two in there. I mean, the whole fucking first half of that game, they were just blowing us up. And to me, that's the offensive coordinator. If he's not calling the plays, he's got to be doing something there. But what are we even paying him for? Is he just a cheerleader / water boy on the side? I don't know, man.
That's a good question, man.
We don't know what they're doing. Keep pounding, boys. Love you.
Keep pounding. That's a great question. I mean, Brad Idzik is not calling plays for the Panthers. That's Dave Canales. So, I mean, maybe that's the reason why he's not in the booth. Maybe he should be in the booth so that way he can give Dave Canales some advice on what he's seeing. I mean, Canales literally brought Idzik here because of their connection to one another. So, I don't know, man. Like, this is I don't really know what defined role Idzik has on this team, what he is or isn't responsible for, but I don't know what difference he makes one way or another, to be honest. And before we go forward, shout out to Loud Pack Luck. Says, bring Trevor Lawrence back to the Carolinas. Let's go, baby. What's up?
Cut his hair.
God, he looks like
Cut
the
your
kid
hair,
from
yeah.
Dazed and Confused.
Don't be hating, bro.
Looks like a lead singer from Hanson. Cut your hair.
Don't be hating because
Lenore
he's got
Sellers
that
did not have a touchdown.
blowing mane, bro.
Lenore Sellers was 6 for 7, 94 yards, and he had a pick. And he
Against
also
Vanderbilt.
got his head rocked to where the dude ejected.
Against Vanderbilt, correct.
Okay. Next call.
Aren't y'all done with South Carolina players? Come on, dude.
Yo, what's up, C3?
No more.
Fair point.
Having a good Tuesday, man. Just wanted to call in, simply say,
what's up, Ant?
Hope you guys are doing good. Real quick, we'll see what happens this week. I gave my thoughts about last week. Kind of drained. Hope, somehow, some way, the team comes out with energy next week. I don't know how many fans are going to be there, how good the crowd's going to be. I know Cody said he was going. I hope it's a good experience for him and other fans. I hope he can show out. It's going to be really disappointing if the home opener we, get blown out or we get booed. But yeah, they need to win this game. That's just the bottom line. No excuses. They need to win this game. If you start 0-3, pack it up. Season's over at that point. And the part of this that sucks is so far you played a rookie head coach and a whole new staff and a second-year coach that you beat last year, and you've lost both of these games. And this is supposed to be the easy part of our schedule. So very disappointed so far, man. I hope something gets, I hope something turns around. I'm not necessarily, sure it is at this point. We'll see. I mean, again, it's 2 weeks in. It's just like these are two games that were very winnable. And the schedule gets harder soon. But yeah, just my thoughts. Not much else to say. Oh yeah, one last thing. See a lot of people defending Xavier Legette today. Some of them are, a lot aren't. But all I got to say is this, guys. I know we shouldn't believe everything Canales says in the press conference, but let's just say he was being real about Xavier Legette, that he actually believes in Xavier Legette. Why would we necessarily – why aren't we holding him to the same standard that we should hold other players to, like our quarterback that we benched, like Trevin Wallace, like Nick Scott? Like, Xavier Legette deserves blame too, guys. Okay, he was a first-round pick. Whether we love him, love it, hate it, there were other guys that have far better careers than he has right now. And yeah, right now he has eight yards through 2 games. So,
he's right. He's 100%.
If you average, that out 4 times 17, that's 68 yards. So he's on pace for 68 yards. Just my thoughts, though. Anthony from Charlotte, he motherfucking pounded.
Well, hold on. I will say, I agree with you, Anthony, on that. Like, when you extrapolate that out, what he's going to average. You also posted in the chat earlier that Bryce Young was set for, at the pace he's at right now, for like 4,200 yards and 35 touchdowns. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, we can say that, to certain things, and if it works for us in the argument we want to, you can say that. But, I think he's going to get way more than 68 yards. He's not going to have a great season. But Bryce Young's not getting 4,200 yards and 35 touchdowns this year either. So, it's got to work both ways when you extrapolate stats out like that. So,
all right, just back because I'm on Sellers here. Somebody in the chat said I was wrong.
Well, they said that he was a redshirt freshman last year.
Well, if he was a redshirt freshman last year, he didn't play last year, correct?
No, redshirt means the year
That means
before
that
that.
2 years
He
ago?
redshirted
That
the
would
year
have been
before
2
that.
years ago.
So his
So
sophomore
you mean that you mean where
season,
Cam sat behind
his
Tebow?
sophomore year, he was a redshirt
Yeah.
freshman because he redshirted the year before.
All right, dude, I saw him play last year. He played 1 year last year, and this
Yeah, we're
is
not
his second
debating
year.
that.
Okay,
You
so
can
like,
you can
like,
be
it's
in your
like,
second
you want to
year.
act like this is that the fact that like Cam sat behind people, he sat behind Tebow, then he got cut. Like he shouldn't have. I'm going to tell you that. But that might went to junior college and then won a junior college championship and then went to Auburn and won the national championship. So like, let's just not act like. Look, I'm not saying Cam's my favorite player of all time. Cam was one of the top 5 greatest college players of all time. I'm not saying that Lenoir Sellers needs to be in that conversation, but don't shit on the dude. Dude played his first year last year, fucking made South Carolina something legit last year. They were a legit team last year down the stretch.
Also,
So
the point is
the guy balls, man. The guy can fucking play.
He's
And
not coming out this year either. He's coming out next year.
Okay, so like it's like true Fred, he wouldn't be eligible. All I know is this: is his first fucking season he played football in college was last year. I don't care if he fucking sat or whatever. So you want to quibble over the fucking terminology, we can. But like Cam went to a junior college and then came back. So don't act like Cam won the fucking national championship his first year in college.
Yeah, I mean,
hey guys,
I still love Cam Newton.
vacation with the blind Panthers. Y'all are talking about something that is rattling me right up. Why do they go away from something that they've been having success doing for
I'm saying, see, even Joey can see it. He can't even see it.
I remember way back when Matt Rule was here. I think it was when Matt Rule was here. It was either when Matt Rule was here or Steve Wilkes. But I know it was years ago. Matter of fact, he may have even been back in Ron Rivera's last year. I called up and said, it seems like whenever the Panthers have success doing something, they go away from it. And then they lose. I mean, this has been a thing for like multiple coaching staffs. Like it's not new. And it's every bit as infuriating as before, if not more, because we had no business winning that game at halftime. And that's the crazy part. We come back and win that game. Everybody is talking about, let's be honest, they're probably talking about how in the hell did the Cardinals lose that game because they never give the Panthers any credit. And honestly, when you watch the Panthers and you're not a Panthers fan, why would you? I mean, it's so embarrassing, and it's just, look, I've made my bed being a Panthers fan, and I'm going to lay in it with a smile on my face because this is what I believe in. But man, is it frustrating. Anyway, guys.
Wow. Hey, man, I agree. If you're doing something that's working, don't then shift the entirety of your game plan to do something completely different and then stick to that thing that was completely different, that hasn't been working, that still isn't working, and then continuing to do it, man. What do I say? It's like fitting a square peg into a round hole. Come on, man.
All right, next call.
Hi, it's Steve here in Surfside Beach. Very frustrated fan. As
What up,
you can
Steve?
tell, we're all frustrated. Bryce is in his third year. I don't care how many coaches he's had, that he can't turn over the ball like he's been doing. That's the big problem, especially early in the game. And Coach Canales doesn't seem to be learning either. He wants to run the ball and do all these things, and he just can't do it. And I don't know how the team can't score a friggin' first down when there's like 1 yard to go and it's you need 1 yard for a first down, and they keep not being able to do that. So I don't know what's going on with that. The whole team is frustrated from top to bottom. And here's something I'm telling you. There all those blueprints and all those other crappy things they come out with. I'm not watching a single one of those things. It's just a waste of my time. I'll watch the game because I'm a Panthers fan for a long time. But I'm not going to watch all the blueprints and all the other crap that they keep promoting because that's just a lot of PR BS. Okay, good luck, guys. Keep pounding. Maybe we'll see a good game on Sunday.
Keep pounding.
Thank
hey,
you,
man, I love the optimism. Fans that are like, hey, man, win, lose, or draw. If they're champions or if they're other dog shit, I'm tuning into the Carolina Panthers.
And also, I mean, that's a good, like, it's a good kind of thing is like, look, we ain't buying jerseys. We ain't fucking. I saw, this was wild, is the Panthers press conference, the Monday press conference, which I still am so irritated that they put the live press conference on, and 20 minutes is a 32-minute video, live video on YouTube, and it doesn't start till 20 minutes in. Right? It was like it was like 5 hours later, guys, and they had 955 views on their live show. Like, I was like, I mean, I'm okay with this. Just don't watch the fucking you know what? Give us a win before we watch the next blueprint. That's what I say. We're not going to watch anything. I mean, you're lucky we're watching the fucking game.
That's what propaganda at this point, isn't it?
Podcasting about it for hours afterwards. Yeah, we're fans.
Yeah. All right.
By the way, shout out to my guy Drew with the flu in the chat room. He says somebody needs to get fired. Maybe we'll light a fire and bring a different attitude. Me and my man Drew went semi-viral on Panthers Twitter. He asked me a bunch of questions like, what does Bryce Young do well? And I reshared it, and it got a lot of pushback. I mean, it got a lot of pushback, and also got a lot of people like, yeah, what does he do well? So
throws off his tippy toes really well.
Wait, did you say he doesn't get hurt?
Yeah. That's a good thing. He doesn't get hurt.
And that would differentiate him between him and Lenore Stellers. Just saying, right? Like, that's as a matter of fact. But
I'm not fucking talking about this. Yep, we all need to hit that.
Man, what's going on with everybody? It's me, C-Dog 1983 TV.
C-Dog, what up,
I'm just calling in on this the number one Panthers podcast on YouTube, the C3 podcast, the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube, the C3
brand ambassador
podcast. It's the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. Whenever you come in here, can you please like button? Please subscribe to the great content. They've been doing this shit for, I want to say, about 13 years strong.
My man.
You know what I'm saying? 13 years strong, still going, still consistent, always live every Tuesday. We got the free for all on Friday. We got the game simulation on Saturday. They got the game recap on Sunday. But real quick, man, we got to win this game Sunday. I live in Atlanta. I've been talking shit all fucking summer. Like, look, I'm not trying to be funny when I say this, but I got to beat Atlanta at least one time or both times. But I cannot lose this game Sunday to the Falcons. Like, I live down here. Like it's just, oh, my God. I'm just trying to be optimistic, you know. I'm not going to say the season is already over, you know, but, man, we got to do better, man. We got to do fucking better, man. We got to put together a whole fucking game, man, a complete fucking game, and we haven't done that the last 2 weeks. It's very disappointing. It's very frustrating, man, you know. And then for these guys not to play that in the preseason, man, like, I'm running on empty, man. Like, I really am, man. I'm about to start snapping and getting mad again if you don't start winning.
I get that. Yeah. I just want to win. I feel you.
Come this Sunday. Like, Sunday, I need to see a completely different team. I know we got, some extra players from the offensive line, but I need to see a competent team Sunday, man. That first game I was there,
terrible, man. That's another thing. I'm supposed to go to some more games this year, man. If we don't win this game Sunday, man, I'm probably not going to some more games, man. Well, probably week 11, because I'm already down here in Georgia, you know. So it won't be too much waste of fucking money. But, man, I don't know, man. Whenever you come in here, man, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the great fucking content, man.
Appreciate you,
the
brother.
podcast, along with Panthers Podcast on YouTube. You know, it's just therapy session, man. I'm smoking right now, man. It's good old therapy, man. So everybody just try to keep your head up and have a great week and keep pounding, man. Keep pounding.
Pounding, brother.
Our brand ambassador, C-Dog, also I made a short out of his call about Xavier Legette that got some cool traction on YouTube recently. So appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you for your call. Smash the thumbs up button. Be part of the community. Consider being a C3 super fan for $1.99 a month. It really helps us just bring a little bit to pay for StreamYard, which costs like upwards of $100 a month. So like, let's go. Final call.
What's up, y'all? It's Lucas from Forest City. Just listening to the podcast on my way home from work. Just want to talk a little bit about Trevor Lawrence.
No.
I see Tony, obviously, he's jealous of Clemson because, you know,
we know.
First-time national champions. I don't know what Trevor Lawrence and Clemson did to Tony, but he's obviously wrong about Trevor Lawrence. He's head and shoulders better than Bryce, and he's a great quarterback. I would love to have him in Carolina. He puts the ball right where it needs to be, right in the middle of your
right
chest.
on the other team, right?
Yes, I agree. Can't catch the ball. We have a wide receiver in Carolina named T-Mac that we're wasting, and I would love to see Trevor Lawrence throw that ball to T-Mac.
I would too.
And I would love to see Trevor Lawrence throw that ball to Jadavion Sanders. I just wanted to speak on that because I hate to listen to Tony run his mouth about the great Trevor Lawrence.
That's right.
Keep pounding. Go Tigers.
Cody.
Go Tigers, baby. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
People last week talk about has
Wait a
anybody
minute.
give it
Wait a
more
minute.
benefit of the doubt?
Yeah.
What's
Shout
the
out to
Georgia
Luke.
Tech fight song, Cody?
Nah, who knows? Probably something lucky. You know,
More
what I'm
benefit
saying?
of a
You probably heard
doubt.
it this weekend. That's all I'm saying.
I saw a tweet last week, maybe from Cody Lack himself or somebody that says anybody giving more benefit of a doubt to a player than Bryce Young. Maybe it wasn't from you actually, Cody, but I thought about you, and I said, "Yeah, Trevor fucking Lawrence, motherfucker got paid. He got paid. He's a top 5 paid quarterback.
In
Bitch
both
ain't
of
done
those
shit.
games, he also threw a ball perfectly to the wide receiver that was fucking dropped in the back of the end
threw a
zone.
ball, Tony.
Every
Oh, he
year.
did a thing. He fucking
Every
did a
year,
thing.
he had some
He
of
had
the
a-
most greatest drops from his wide receivers that you've ever seen. We would
had
be
one
lucky.
really good playoff comeback.
We would be
come on,
lucky
man.
to
Pay
have
that man,
Trevor
yeah.
Lawrence here.
Pay that man.
All
One
right,
really
but
good
y'all,
playoff comeback.
I'm with Trevor Lawrence. He's a great. He's a goat. He's a goat. All right, those are the calls. What we got left? Atlanta's coming into the house. Carolina Panthers. It's a home game, right?
Yes, first home game.
We got some. The Atlanta Falcons are road favorites, right?
That makes sense.
It does. I mean, now the Falcons coming off of a big win. Are they 1-1?
They are 1-1. Yes.
Who'd they lose to in week 1?
The Bucks.
Okay, the Bucks. Yeah, which a nail biter. Now,
They didn't give it to him easy.
Good defensive performance against Minnesota. JJ McCarthy, basically a rookie quarterback, suffered a high ankle sprain, going to be out, I think, up to 4 weeks after that. Defense, the Atlanta defense, looking much improved versus last year. Bijan Robinson churning it out, looking fantastic. I think they kicked 5 field goals in this game, though. But something like that is like, it's not that they put, I mean, they got the win. They should be happy about it, but it's not like they converted a ton in the red zone. What do we got? Let's know our foe. Thank you, Panthers.com. This is their look. Actually, I won't even tell. It's like, know your foe right here. The Carolina Panthers in a division game, and you need to win this if we want to stick around him and try to salvage something. You know, the Panthers, If they start 0-3, problematic. If you start 0-3 and your first loss comes, like you're already losing against the division. What are we facing with the Atlanta Falcons, Cody?
Yes, sir. Know your phone, courtesy of Panthers.com. They say, here's Bijan. The Falcons offense goes as Bijan Robinson goes. The running back drives the machine with his legs, his pass catching ability out of the backfield, and his attitude that any play can be explosive. It's not hard to believe him when he continuously creates them himself. Through the first 2 weeks, Robinson has 34 carries of 167 yards, fifth in the league, plus 9 receptions for 125 yards and a touchdown through the air. According to Next Gen Stats, since entering the NFL, Robinson has the most receptions for a running back in wide alignment, meaning he's flexed out to the outside in a receiver position.
McCaffrey.
Yeah, but Robinson's bread and butter is juking defenders as he runs up the middle and into the open field. Against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football, the running back picked up 143 rushing yards on 22 carries, generating 42 rushing yards over expected. He forced 9 missed tackles on the night, gaining 50 extra yards after missed tackles. And to me, this is going to be the biggest test of our run defense thus far. The Falcons have a really good offensive line. They probably had one of the better offensive lines in the NFL, or especially in the division for a while. Yeah. I know that they lost a guy earlier this season. His name escapes me right now, but I do know that this is going to be a very stiff test. And what Bijan Robinson is able to do against the Panthers is going to tell us a lot about how the Panthers are going to be able to stop the run this year.
Al the Sailor writes the most 100-yard game since being drafted, and to note that is he shared carries with that Algier guy. Yeah. We don't want none of Algier either.
Saquon Barkley said that Bijan Robinson has the best jump cuts out of any running back in the NFL.
And and Saquon Barkley ain't no slouch when it comes to a jump cut.
Not at all.
What's next? What else are we facing against the Atlanta Falcons?
Michael Penix Jr. has spent much of his rookie season in flux, playing in spots thrust into a quarterback competition with Kirk Cousins that no one saw coming. He was able to prepare for 2025 through knowing he was the guy. The result has been a production through 2 games that is quickly outpacing his average from last season. So far, he's gone 40 of 63 through the air, 63.5% completion percentage for a 433 yards and a passing touchdown, while adding 7 rushes for 20 yards and a rushing touchdown, the latter of which spawned 1,000 Space Jam memes in week 1. Penix got into a quarterback duel with Bryce Young in the 2024 season finale, going 21 of 38 for 312 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception, plus a rushing touchdown against the Panthers.
Another fucking lefty quarterback for the Falcons. I don't know. The reason I hate the Falcons more than any team in the NFC South is because of a man named Mike Vick, who destroyed my college team throughout, Virginia Tech, fucking smoked the East Carolina Pirates. Then he fucking drafted to the Falcons and smoked my Carolina Panthers. I was at the game where Mike Vick had the Superman touchdown where he defied gravity and hovered 1 inch above the ground for an entire 5 yards. Left hand. Oh, by the way, I'm a southpaw. I don't want to lose to the fucking Falcons. But I'm not picking the Panthers to win this game. What else are we facing, Cody? We'll make our picks and do our ice up too.
Well, but I do want to say, right, that this is going to be, that graphic that I showed you earlier with J.C. Horn Jr. and Mike Jackson. This is going to be a real opportunity for them. Penix wants to move the ball downfield.
Just running the fuck over us. We'll see how that defense, if they can improve against the run, right? This is going to be the first time, maybe, that we'll see the defense play the honest game.
But I am excited to see the matchup of Drake London against our very own J.C. Horn. I want to see what that looks like. I think that's good on good. So
definitely.
We'll see. Now, probably the biggest
this is
matchup.
Upsetting right here. this is upsetting me because the Falcons defense was fucking awful, trash. Panthers went with Tet McMillan. They go and get who's the guy that we all wanted, the linebacker, Walker,
Jalen Walker, who hasn't really been anything special.
I think he has a half a sack. So look, I'll just read this off. The Falcons added to their defense in this year's draft. The rookies have shown up through 2 weeks. Rookie safety Xavier Watts picked off J.J. McCarthy on Sunday night for a game-sealing interception, while fellow rookie safety Billy Bowman Jr. is tied with veteran Jesse Bates III and linebacker Divine Diablo for a team high 10 tackles. Eight players have recorded at least 0.5 sacks, so half sacks, as the unit has put together 7 in total. This Falcons defense recorded 16 pressures and 6 sacks against J.J. McCarthy, and the Vikings offense generating pressure on 53.3% of dropbacks, the team's highest since Week 15 of 2018, according to Next Gen Stats. In Sunday's win against the Vikings, the Falcons defense sent extra rushers on 43.3% of dropbacks, the third highest blitz rate under head coach Raheem Morris. Now, remember that both of the guys that they drafted weirdly have some beef with the Carolina Panthers. So James Pierce Jr. from Charlotte gets his opportunity to whoop up potentially on his home team growing up. And Jalen Walker, who was all but assured that the Carolina Panthers were going to draft him this year with our 8th overall pick. Like, there's a video of the dude being visibly disappointed when the Panthers passed up on him. So this is going to be an incredible test for the Panthers defense, especially after what they did to Minnesota.
Broadway Joe with my comment of the night right here. 2 lefties with the male lower body parts in their name. Penix, he's a penis, and Mike Vick. Mike Vick sucks a dick. Laugh out loud. That's a good comment right there. Well done, my friend. Atlanta right now. Go ahead to the next slide. I think they are favored. I think I got this. Here we go. Falcons are 3.5-point favorites over the Panthers in Week 3 odds, according to BetMGM. Atlanta is -200 on the money line. Carolina plus 165. Over under is set at 44 points. How about this? Let's go ahead. Let's make our picks here. Let's do this before we read the next part of this slide. I got my weekly picks, and Greg, I think we're at.
Well, okay, so I've only got the stats from what we picked before. I haven't been keeping up with the weekly.
No, I've been keeping up the ones that were. I'm keeping up with the weeklies.
Okay,
right?
I've got that before.
But week 3 right now, Greg had a win. CK had a win. Cody had a win. We all before the season are sweeping the Falcons here.
I'm still.
Oh my gosh! All right, Greg is going W right here.
I'm doubling
win
down
for the Panthers. How about this? And just to make this fun, go back, pull that slide real quick. If you were betting on this, you want over under, Greg, 44. You're talking. This is a 27-20 game. Right here, what are you thinking? Is this over under? I'm not for your picks. We're not keeping up with that. Where do you think you settle in?
I'm taking the under.
Under?
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So Greg's got a W. CK, Panthers pulling it out. Are they getting their first win or not?
Oh gosh, I think we get our first win. I think we get our first win.
CK has got the W. I'm going L. I'm not picking the Panthers to win till they get some wins, bro. So I got the L right here. Cody.
Yeah, I am going to stick with my preseason predictions.
You had him as a W.
I had him as a W. I am going to stay true to that. I am going to stick with that. I think the Panthers in their home opener, they're going to nut up in a big way and give us just the slightest bit of hope to hold on to. I think the Panthers are going to come away with the W.
I always feel like we play the Falcons better at their house and they play us better at our house.
I
Maybe that's
agree
the
with that.
Saints too. I mean, maybe that's every division team. I got the Panthers losing until they can tell me otherwise. Like I feel like I'm just always picking with my heart.
No,
Like
you're
it's
not
just
wrong,
like it's
Tony,
like
yeah.
when is it gonna happen? Like I'm tired of just saying we're due. You know,
Well,
like
you'd rather be wrong based on the odds right now. And if you're wrong based on the odds, then you're wrong on that. So, no, you're not wrong with this. Like it's actually probably a more solid pick to be picking a loss. I think we're all three. Me and Cody and CK are all picking with our heart.
All right, just real quick, talk around the league. Joe Burrow out, big injury. JJ McCarthy. Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and say the season.
My fantasy team hates that.
I'm sorry, Joe Burrow. That's the season. I know they're not going to say it, but it's the season. If
you got to start having a conversation about Joe Burrow too, by the way.
What, injuries?
Yeah. This is not this is what 3 years, three different years in a very short career that he's been gone early in the season.
Yeah.
He had one really good run his rookie year, and that was basically it.
No, it was rookie year. He tore his ACL.
Yeah, it was the second year.
The second year, okay, yeah. So he's had one really good run, yeah.
But or also you could talk about this, CK, is what happens when you play the skill positions completely and you just leave the other guys out there. I don't know if turf toe counts as that one, but we all saw that play where he just got fucking racked up last week, and it was like we don't want to get hit, like no one wants to get trucked like that. Bengals. A lot of questions about their management, paying
everybody.
Other big injuries, JJ McCarthy hurt, Jaden Daniels with a sprained knee. They say day to day could be this, but you probably want to protect him a little.
A lot of people are comparing this to RG3.
The
Jaden Daniels thing. Great rookie season. Showed up, went to the playoffs for the first time in a while.
His knee injury was fucking catastrophic.
Hold on, Tony. His knee injury didn't happen until after he sprained his knee. He sprained his knee the first time, and then he played again very shortly after, and that's when he tore his ACL.
Protect Jaden.
But also remember that Jaden Daniels, as a player, he's not a very big dude. Like he's a skinny guy, and he plays with this style. Where no one's saying he's not, but he plays with this style that he throws his body around very violently, and his body just isn't built for that.
Lamar Jackson,
him and Joe Burrow both.
Lamar avoids.
Him and Joe Burrow both have to kind of take this to heart, and they're both LSU quarterbacks.
Yeah,
they are going to have to learn how to protect their body. They're not big and strong like Cam Newton or Josh Allen or Big Ben. They're just not built that way. So they're going to have to learn.
They got to do what Lamar Jackson does.
Right, but Jaden Daniels over everybody. That motherfucker is good. Robert Hunt in that conversation as big time injuries facing the league. And then you look at San Francisco too. It's like there's like when are they man, they're weathering the storm. Let's see what happens. San Francisco. Interesting. Any last notes before we ice some fools up, guys? Don't forget to support the C3 Panthers podcast by smashing the thumbs up button, sharing the show, really dropping the link to a friend, reposting the show really helps a lot. I cannot tell you how much that small thing does. Is like, because look, we're up 50 subscribers on YouTube this month, and I know it's like 50 subscribers, but we're like, man, we've been like nicking away for 14 years at this mug. Like we're maybe 600 away from 7,000. I want to get to 10,000 at some point. I'd like for 10,000 to be before 2030. Maybe we can make it 2025, 2026 to get to that. We can help us continue to grow a community, a grassroots community, not buying We're not buying views or anything like that. Real views, real people, real conversation, real calls. That's what we're rocking at. Cody, unless you got anything else to talk football, I think it's time to ice some fucking fools up.
Let's do it. Toughen up. Get your act together. The longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet. Let's ice some fools up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
It's our homage to Steve Smith, where we tell someone to icen up, toughen up, get it together. Everyone's fair game, from a 12-year-old kid in Oklahoma to myself, to my family, to my kids, to your kids, wherever. We can even ice up these fools up in here together. We can ice up the Panthers. It's where we can step inside or outside the lines of football and tell someone to ice up, toughen up, to get it together. Who's ready to rock?
Oh, I'm definitely ready.
All right,
here we go. A long time. Let me go. Let me go. And I'm ready for this.
It's like canceled. Too bad. You're gonna get fired. Get fired. Let's go.
Oh man. Okay, so check it out. Let me preface this. Okay, I know we don't like to get political in the show, but this is really not getting political.
Get whatever you want right at this moment. I'm with
this. Charlie Kirk was a personal hero of mine. The guy brought me back to God. The guy helped me through everything that happened with my wife in the last year. Like, this guy for me was the guy, like absolute, and I'm sure everybody knows the things that happened with him. So right now I'm icing up Charlie Rock for the Carolina Panthers PR team, who got fired for talking shit about Charlie Kirk. Here's my thing, man, is like, you're allowed to have your own opinions. That's fine. And I'm all for freedom of speech. Say what you want. But people don't realize that you have the ability to say what you want. It doesn't mean it doesn't come without penalty. Okay? When you work for somebody, you have to act professional. Okay? You're allowed to say whatever you want, knowing that basically who you work for, or whatever if you're putting an image out there, is going to affect you. This guy got fired for making a dumbass comment about a great man that got killed unjustly.
Assassinated.
You know? And I'm so glad Carolina stepped up and fired him as soon as he said this stuff. I'm not even going to repeat what he said. You can look it up if you haven't seen it yet. But I'm icing up Charlie Rock because, man, you are a dumb-ass motherfucker. I'm sorry. People have their own opinions, but nobody's speech, just straight speech, justifies them being killed. Period.
Especially in front of their wife and kids, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're leaving
or just being a human.
It's not even matter being a human, exactly. Nobody.
I mean, we don't even have to have wife and kids. If he didn't have wife and kids,
but exactly, it wouldn't matter either. But here's my thing: is like, if you're an evil person and you do evil things, if you do these things like Hitler, or people claim all Republicans and MAGA people are, which we're not, if you say that kind of stuff, okay, I understand trying to murder or trying to kill somebody like that because you're fearful. But killing somebody for speech, for trying to talk and what they say, that's not harmful. If you're hurt by what somebody says so badly that you feel like you need to kill somebody, you're the one who's messed up. And when you support things like that, you should be fired. So Charlie Rock, ice the fuck up, man.
All right. Ice up. Who's next?
You have one, again?
Since we're on that topic, I'll go. This week was... I won't go to the same level that Greg was as far as my opinion of Charlie Kirk. I respected him. I didn't really follow him. He wasn't like a hero by any stretch of the imagination, but he had many of the same beliefs that I hold. So I was incredibly saddened to see that happen. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't in a good headspace after seeing both the videos of the girl on the train and then in the next day seeing the Charlie Kirk video by happenstance. That messed with me. And what I find to be some of the most despicable behavior was the people online, many people in Panthers Nation, by the way. Like, this isn't immune to any. This is like many of the people that we hold dear to, to our family of Panthers fans, right? And I want to make this clear. Nobody demands that you mourn Charlie Kirk. Okay?
Agreed.
No, like I there's a guy across the globe that his grandmother just passed. I don't need to mourn her.
Right.
But what I can do is I can be empathetic. I sure
Or
as hell am not
scroll
going to
on.
send. I'm sure as hell not going to be sending flowers that say "haha, better luck next time." You know what I mean? Like it's not going to be stupid stuff like that. And that has been some of the most egregious things that I have seen. He asked for it. He deserved this. This is what he got. He got it. What he got coming for him. He wanted my people to die, so I'm gonna. I'm glad he's. I have no sympathy for him being gone. By the way, never said that. No. Never came to the conclusion that there is a race that shouldn't exist in the world. Quite honestly, I would argue that he didn't believe in race. It's nonetheless, again, stepping away from that, I'm not here to talk about his beliefs or anything like that. If you're one of the people that felt the need to go on to social media and be as dumb as you are being and put out there publicly some of the most repulsive, just horrible things I have ever seen a human being say or do, I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna shy away from this. I have seen some lack of empathy from the right in certain circumstances, but I have never seen the repulsive behavior that I've seen by the crybabies, these people that want to pretend like they're morally just, more highly morally just than anybody on the right. It has been some of the most eye-opening information. And I'm icing myself up a little bit because the rage that I had after seeing that video was scary. Like, it was scary. Like, it was like, I'm ready to go to war type of anger. And the fact that I was able to get there over this was a scary thing. And I've since then been able to cool down and realize that I'm following in my faith. And I encourage many people who probably here over the past week have had their own crisis of conscience, if you will. But I have seen so much hope online and everything. And I just want to end this in a positive. I have seen so many people come back to God. I've seen so many people profess their faith in a public way, which is just so encouraging. And quite honestly, the rage evaporated when I see college students in prayer vigils, and I see people online every single video talking about, I haven't been to church in 10 years and I went this week and I gave my life back to Christ. It's things like that that have been some of the most uplifting things. And, so I'm icing up my initial reaction of rage. And I just want to say that, to anybody who came around with that, we're inhuman. We're only human. We aren't perfect. And if you felt that way, it's okay. But I'm encouraged, and I hope everybody here in chat, because I don't care what your beliefs are, your race, your creed, whatever it may be. I want you all to know Christ. I want you all to be on the right side of things, whether you believe that it's the case right now or not. I want you to be there in heaven with me. And I have no doubt in my mind that that's what anybody that is a real Christian is going to tell you. So I just, that's my beliefs. And I just want to say, I'm saying a prayer for everybody that has had this hatred in their heart, and ice up to myself for that hatred that I had at the very beginning of this whole thing.
Mama Joanne say your rosary. That's what she would say. Cody, what do you ice up? What do you got, Cody?
Yeah, man. So this week is definitely not as, for me at least, when it comes to my ice up, is not quite as fiery as my one from last week, though. I do still stand very much by my one from last week. Please check that out if you haven't done so already. I am going to bring a little bit of comedy back to the ice up picks. The Saints cheerleading squad, they had something of an oopsie daisy. Let me take down the slideshow, bring this back up. But this is the Saints cheerleading squad. I wish that there was a better angle of what happens at the end, but I'll just let it play. And just fucking
Oh, dude,
toss,
I heard
buddy.
the Vanderbilt the squad that they do the touchdowns, like they have to do the push-ups for the touchdowns, and one of the cheerleaders couldn't do the 38 push-ups. The male cheerleader, like it was like it's just gassed out. Look at that.
That's
That's
awesome.
fun.
Only thing would have been better with that if she'd hit the camera.
Oh my goodness. All right, that's the ice up right there. My ice up is just simply this: is I ice up people, or I ice up the idea of it's more important being right than what is right. And I think that a lot of the attitudes in the world are it's more important for someone to be right in their position and their stance and whatever it is than for what is right in the world. So that's my ice up right there. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My name's Tony Dunn. That's my wheelman, Cody Lack. That's Greg, the Bat Daddy, the Stat Daddy. That's the man with the golden pipe, CK. Cody Lack, has been a great show. We're going to be here on Friday next week. I've already been lining up our guests. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling all season. Let's get a W. I picked them for the L, but let's get a W. And let's get some momentum. You guys stick with us. We've been here in the 14th season. We need you guys locking arms. You're our therapist, and we are your therapist. Cody Lack, take us out of another great show.
C3 Legion until this Friday at 7 p.m. for the Friday free-for-all. My name's Cody Lashley. That's Tony Dunn. That's Greg the Bat Daddy. That's CK Codizzle Allen. Until next time, keep pounding.